Welcome to the Saturday Sports Line. Since 1969, the premier sports show about local high school sports, featuring coaches, players, and special guests. Now, here is your host of the Saturday Sports Line, Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI Sports Director, Mitch Columbi, and sports analyst, Chris McGowan.
30-22 will be the final. The Winamac Warriors will pull off a big-time win here in Culver. The way we used to be, it ain't all the same. The way we used to be, even in your dreams. And we welcome you to the Saturday Sports Line, the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, thanks to our very own Harold Welter. 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central, wherever you are, this is your wake-up call. I'm accompanied by our sports analyst, Chris McGowan. Good morning, Chris. How are you today? You doing okay?
I'm doing all right. Me and Coach Lambert here, we're blinded. You turned on you turned on our mics and the light kicked on and we're blinded.
Like you've never been in here before.
Got a new bulb or something? Because that's a lot brighter.
The on-air light flicked on. You guys freaked out. I'm all business this morning, boys. Let's get going.
I'm blind right now. Hold on a second. I can't see. I mean, you asked for my Herbie Hancock this morning, and I'm what in the world's going on here?
I thought it was a John Hancock. Herbie Hancock.
Yeah, haven't you ever seen Tommy Boy?
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, back to the sports. That's what we're here for, right? The big win last night for the Winamac Warriors over the Culver Cavaliers. Man, that was a good game last night, back and forth. A lot of things we'll talk about with head coach Burgess of the Warriors and Foust of the Cavs. But like you heard the call, 30-22 was the final. The Warriors get their first win of the season, so we congratulate them. We also heard the Knox Redskins pulled off a big win on the road against Tippy Valley, conference opponent, 36-21. The story from that game is Miles McLaughlin yet again had an amazing night, 51 carries for 320 yards on the ground, 5 rushing touchdowns. He now has surpassed Sammy Meyerless, a 2013 Elwood grad who had 8,110 career rushing yards. Miles McLaughlin is now the second all-time leading rusher in the state of Indiana, Chris.
Pretty impressive. Still got that roughly 2,700 yards to go, so we'll see.
It looks like he's counting them. I think he's counting them.
Something seems
he's on
up.
a mission.
That's right,
here.
yeah.
Something's going on there. But big win for the Redskins, 36-21. The West Central Trojans also had a big win. They're undefeated like the Redskins, 54-14 on the road at Lake Station. A big win for head coach Marc Hall, and the Trojans will talk with him in this hour. And then a tough loss last night to the South Central Satellites in Bourbon, Indiana on the road against Triton. 63-0 was the final. We go ahead and transition to the North Judson-San Blue Jays. Big win last night, 24-16. We got updates from Chris McGowan on location. It was an interesting start to the game, Coach, but from what I was told by Chris, it was a great start once the game got going.
Yeah, it was definitely unique. We're about to start the game, and the officials come over like, well, and I see an ambulance coming out. Well, one of their fans in the crowd, it was a grandfather of one of the they had youth cheerleading night there, so one of the grandfathers of the cheerleader had a heart attack, and they had to revive him in the stands, and they did. They were able to, but he wasn't. There was no breath, no pulse, there was nothing. So they revived him. So that took about 20 minutes. I don't know.
Yeah, 20, 25 minutes at least.
Yeah, so to get the game started. But again, it sounds like I think that person, last I heard of the update, is all right, or at least is alive and doing a heck of a lot better than at that moment. So we had that, and then they got the guy into the parking lot. They're waiting for a helicopter to come. So when the helicopter came, and it was right there in the parking lot next to the field, they took about a 10-minute, 15-minute,
about another 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, break in the game to let that all happen. So it was just kind of a wild start there, and nothing. And I don't mean there's nothing good about that happening, except one little thing. The sun was in my eyes so bad to start that game. I've never seen the sun so bright in my life.
Yeah, it was bad.
And after that, whole delay was over, the sun went away. So that was the only positive that happened from the whole thing. But yeah, just a crazy start there. But then the game, if I was a fan and didn't really care, I guess, about either team, who won, just to watch it, I think that was a pretty fun game to watch, especially if you like running the football and just some hard hitting. Now, as a coach, it was a little stressful, but it was a good one. So we end up scoring first. Now we went down our first drive and then kind of had turnover. Was it fourth down? It was fourth down. We ended up turning the ball over. Literally turned it over. We had a fumble, but we had a good drive. Then we get the ball. We end up getting the ball back and scoring first. Went for 2-point conversion because I thought this was going to be one of those games where we're probably going to have to go for 2. And in hindsight, that was correct. So we go up 8-0. We about recovered the kickoff. It wasn't even supposed to be an onside. The ball just kind of shanked off the kicker's foot. We about got that recovery, but it ended up trying to recover it. The ball kept getting pushed back, so it ended up being good field position for us. But they ended up going up with about 2.5 minutes left in the first half. They're up 16-8 on us, and they're getting the ball first the second half. And at that moment, I'm never going to be a guy that's just going to ever take a knee before half or anything. But in my mind at that moment, I was like, we got to do something now. Because when we were moving the ball, like we had an interception in the first half, which set up their second score. They ran all the way back to the 5-yard line. The ball got tipped. Ace and kind of stepped in the pocket. We had too much pressure off the edge. We got our pass protection's been good all year, but it wasn't on that play. So he stepped up, and then the guy, got the ball from behind, tipped the ball up, got picked off. So at that point, down 16-8, and again they're getting the ball to start the second. We could have been in trouble because they have a good ground offense. We could have been in trouble. They got 19 seniors on their team, and that's a veteran team. But we were able to use that 2-minute drill. We took it down the field. They called a timeout after about the second play, and they put, I guess I would call it their prevent defense in. And as soon as I saw it, I thought, okay, we're going to start running toss and triple. If they're gonna back their guys off, we're gonna just run the ball and eat up 8-10 yards of play. And we had some big runs there. Logan Radtke had a few nice runs during the course of the night. I know he had one on that drive. And we even had a 15-yard penalty on that drive, and still were able to take it down. And I think Evan McGowan had a touchdown on triple, and then we got the 2-point conversion. So we tied up 16-all with, I don't know how many seconds it was left in the first half. That was a huge moment there. That drive was huge. And for our young, because we do have a young team, they had a veteran team on the road against a tough competition, a top 10 team in 1A. For us to do that, I thought was huge. Then we made a lot of adjustments and talked to the kids at halftime because there were times, especially in that second quarter, they were really pounding the ball at us on the ground. So I think we made some good adjustments there. I also think, Logan Radtke, kicked a couple times in the second half in our 2 kicks. We had 2 touchbacks for our kickoff team. Again, I've been trying to tell people we do, when Logan's ankle's good to kick, we got a kicker here, guys. And it was, he definitely showed that. And again, we did what we had to do. We ended up our first drive, we scored, got the 2-point conversion. I think we only had 3 possessions the whole second half. And
it was really quick. Yeah, both teams just running the ball a lot. It was a quick second half.
So they end up, we're up 24-16, fourth quarter. They get the ball down to our 5-yard line, and our defense holds. And it was awesome. Our defense held them there, got the stop. There was 2-something left maybe. They had no timeouts. We were able to, we were trying to get a first down.
They had 1 timeout.
Oh, yeah, you're right. But they end up, we were able to get the ball, get it down to about 15 seconds, I think it was. I'm trying to get this all back in my head. And we had a choice. It was 4th and 2 at our 12-yard line. And we called a timeout 14 seconds ago. What are we going to do? We're up 8. What's the scenarios here? We got a good punter. We've had good protection. But if this punt gets blocked, if they block this punt, they can get a touchdown off the block, plus they can get a 2 and tie it. So we got that going through our head if we try to punt. You also have the scenario, okay, we could, run around the end zone a little bit with their punter and step out the back of the end zone. We could do that and just take the safety, take most of the time off the clock, then have a squib kick deep and just hold for one play, for against a Hail Mary, which they're not a good passing team. So there's that. There might have been a coach or two saying, "Let's go for it." I'm thinking, I don't know about that. I get if we were at the 30-yard line, I think that would have been a good scenario there to just go for it because we were doing a good job running the ball. So we end up. I told Xander, the punter, I said, we're going to punt. But if you feel like they bust through and you're not going to get this punt off, you just hold on that ball and take the safety. So that's what we said. But he did get the punt off. It wasn't his best punt. He's a good punter, but it wasn't his best punt. Probably goes to the 30-something yard line.
Yeah, 21 yards.
Yeah, they end up getting the ball back at 8-something, 9 seconds, whatever it was. But we, stopped him on a pass play. Then the quarterback actually on, their last play, it was a bad snap, and he put his knee down to pick up the ball, and that was it. That was the game. But that was a very good win for our team. That was a very good physical football game. A well-coached, good team that we were going against. It was just, again, if I was a fan, it should have been a lot of fun to be there. A little nerve-wracking at times, but I think in the long run, games like that can really help this team as we get to the playoffs and stuff. Because, and I told the team after this, I'd love to beat everybody like we did last year. That's fun, and that's awesome.
Makes your life a lot easier.
It makes life a lot easier. Now your decision is, hey, can I just try to get everybody in the game? That's your biggest decision at that point. How can I get everybody to play? But, I felt like last year, we didn't really, other than probably the Knox game to start the year, we didn't have really any adversity until we got to the Providence game. Here we are under in the lights of, we were in Lucas Oil Stadium. We were finally getting ourselves in the game, get punched in the face, and that probably threw us off.
That before.
Yeah, exactly. And now
you're getting a taste.
We're getting a taste. So, and I really think the improvement this team's going to make, and we have made so far, is huge. I mean, we're not the same team we were against Knox, and we weren't even the same team we were against LaVille and South Central. We're just moving up, and again, it was a great win.
I was going to say that drive before halftime is the kind of drive that could really set the tone for a season. Because you guys, 2:22 on the clock when you got the possession back, and I'm sitting in the stands. First time I've watched a football game in the stands in probably 20-25 years, and so I'm sitting there and.
I didn't get you field access. Sorry.
No, that's all right. I'm okay with that. But I'm sitting next to my mom, and she watched the whole game, looking at the palms of her hands. I've never seen a woman that can never watch a football game. I don't know why she even pays for admission. But anyway, that's a different story. But I remember sitting there, and I'm going, okay, we have to score here, or this game's over. I'll be honest with you, and and it was just a drive that you had a big run. Radtke had a big run on a toss. Evan had a big run on triple, and then he ended up punching in from 15 yards out. But again, just that drive, this kind of drive set a tone.
It's true. I mean, like you said, I didn't necessarily think it was over, and I shouldn't as a coach, but I knew we'd be in a tough spot.
Yeah,
because
with them getting the ball to start the second half,
and for us going to the locker room down, and it's kind of a thing where we were playing well offensively, we just didn't get the ball in the end zone more than once. It just that could have been a tough thing for us, but. I just loved the way we responded, and it was awesome. And we work on that 2-minute offense. It's done every Thursday. We have the scripts. We work on it twice on Thursday, but then throughout the week, I'm always on the ball. Like right. It's just run plays, put them in tough situations. I'm yelling out different things, just trying to put confusion in their head. Sometimes we turn on music at practice. We always do on Thursdays. We're just trying to get a little chaos at practice, trying to resemble what a game could be like. And I really felt like it was just like, okay, we can do this.
We can handle it.
And with the sophomore quarterback, and he'd made a couple mistakes first half. I mean, Asen wasn't perfect in the first half, and he kind of had a look at about the end of the first half in his eyes, and I saw the same look from Trey Hampton years ago. I saw the same look from Aldrich in their first year as quarterback. I saw it from Josiah. I saw it from Ace, and I was thinking, okay, how's he going to respond? This is a big moment. And what we really did in the second half, he was able to call a lot of stuff at the line of scrimmage, so I put that on him, a lot of checks that he had to make, and he was doing a great job with that. So I really felt like that was a big game, and not just for him, for everybody, but again, to see him make some mistakes, probably thinking in his head, what the heck's going going on, and then to end up coming out and helping us.
He grew up a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you got to have those moments. And again, that I don't know what you thought, Chris, but just I thought nice environment there last night. You could see there's some tradition there. They got some football fans. There's a nice crowd. Yeah, their coaching staff, I think, does a good job. I mean, Bud Wright's calling their offense.
Right.
I mean, the all-time winningest coach. I mean, the only person that has more wins than Russ is calling their offense. And, they got some long-time coaches on that staff. I think Coach Grant's doing a good job. So I think that was just a great high school football game, and
it was
good for us.
I think to talk about how the game started, it took a while for the fans. To me, the atmosphere, it just seemed like it was because of what had happened at the start of the game. I think it took till the second half for the crowd and the fans to actually, it's okay to cheer. It seemed like it was like just somber
because of the start.
Because of the start.
Yeah, I'm telling our kids, like we're ready to play a football game, and then we have to pause, and then I'm like, well, we got to, before we get all amped up again, let's wait for the ambulance to get off the track. I mean, that's not something you normally say. We have North Miami's in the middle of the field saying a prayer. Our team went around and joined the prayer circle with them before the football game. There's nothing wrong with prayer, but you don't normally have both teams praying together before a football game.
Right.
Just a lot of scenarios there that just I hadn't encountered before. And maybe that maybe the prayers worked. I mean, maybe who knows? But it's just a crazy situation. Then I've never been there before. I've never been to North Miami, and the crown on their football field. I've never seen a crown. I always thought South Central had a kind of a crown, and then I saw North Miami. Like, holy goodness, I've never seen a crown on a football field like that. Probably it seems like from the middle of the field they get drops off 10 feet to the sideline.
Oh, it does.
It's just it's nuts. So, but again, just a great atmosphere, great game. Our defense really stepped it up. Offense did what they had to do. We got on the ground and just ran the ball at them and did some really good things in the second half. Grayson McDaniel really did a good job. Logan Radtke. Like I said, Asen put us in good spots. I was really pleased with how things went.
Speaking of Logan Radtke, he actually got to take some snaps on defense last night.
Got him on defense a little bit. We're working it back in, and we got enough guys that are good, though, at defense. So he doesn't have to play. So it's not like we have to force the issue because he's very good at defense, very good. But I know during the week, our defense was out there. Scouto was running plays against them, and I went over to Coach Scheidler, and I was just looking at the defense. Like, God, that's not a bad defense over there. I said, that's pretty. We got some talent on this side of the ball. And once it all gels together, I think I still think the defense is the strength of our team, but our offense is coming around too. So I feel like we got a balanced team, but. Just got to, keep getting better, and you got to do that against Culver as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, your first score was a 40-yard run on a toss to Radtke. He looked pretty good, making some cuts there, made a couple guys miss, ran a couple guys over. So, pretty impressive. Nice to have him back.
Yeah, absolutely.
You see Culver this week, they're having a tough go right now. What are you preparing for?
Well, I haven't seen anything yet, so I'll be honest. That was the game got delayed.
You got home late.
Got home really late. But I just know, I know they got some youth in there that's got talent. I know their numbers are up from last year, and I know that staff does a excellent job of coaching football. And I guarantee, I can't remember what coach it was, but as we got back last night, they said, well, they're going to have a few twists and some things for us. They always do because they're good coaches. So, again, we just need to, and this is going to go, I don't care who we're playing, we just need to get better as a team. And I'm going to say that all year, but it's true. After that South Central game, I got into the film on Monday, and I was ripping some butt in the film room because, we beat them by a lot, but there was a lot of mistakes and stuff that I didn't like, and I felt like we got better this week working on some of those things, and we're going to watch the North Miami film, and we're going to see some things we like, but we're going to see a lot of things we don't, and we're going to improve on it. And I know even as coaches, that's a long bus ride home, so Coach Harper and Coach Wright, we were all talking on the a little bus about some things we need to do in practice this week to kind of keep moving along. I talked to Coach Hampton. He goes, hey, there's some scenarios we need to go over, because even last night, taking a safety maybe with the punter, that's something you never think about doing, but you got to think about how are we going to do this? How can we get that right? Or if we would have had the safety, we're kicking off from the 20.
Right.
So that's something we haven't worked on. So there's just scenarios that kind of popped in our head last night in that tight game that, we could have been unprepared, and we don't want to be unprepared for anything. So we're going to improve this week. I guarantee that. And I think I'm over at the middle school now. I'm not in the high school as much. I think it's homecoming this week. So,
it is.
Okay, it's homecoming this week, so that should be a lot of fun. And as long as there's no distractions there, it's going to be a big week.
Well, Coach, I wish you luck. Sorry, we're running a tight ship today. We got to get out of here. But, Coach, I appreciate your time this morning. It means a lot. Congratulations on the big win. Good luck this week. Hey, homecoming against Culver. Have some fun, Coach.
If we win, I'll have fun.
All right. That is head coach of the North Judson-San Blue Jays. It is Brett Lambert here on the Saturday Sports Line. We appreciate him. He only wants to win. That's how he has fun. We're going to take a break, come back. Russ Radtke of the Knox Redskins is on the other side. Takes the snap, spins around, hands off, finds the hole, breaks away to the 45 to the 50, now to the 45, to the 40 on the other side of the field. Huge run, first down run for the Winamac Warriors.
For Scotty Banks made a really nice saving tackle there from the back. That was a good play on his part.
Takes the snap, spins around, hands off. Oh, fumble on the play, loose ball, the Cats bounce on it.
Looks like number 60, Drake Zorich, jumped
He
in.
does have it. So the fumble is recovered by Drake Zorich, and he is juiced up. McEwen takes the snap, rolls out of the pocket. Here come the Warriors. He gets rid of it. Deep ball down the middle. High arcing catch. Number 24's got it to the 50, to the 45, and tripped up with the 40. Adriano out of the gun, fires immediately. That's Ivan Cardenas, crosses the 10 to the 15 to the 20. Still on his feet, breaks the tackle to the 30.
He's quick,
35 to the 40, to the 45 to the 50, 45 to the 40, 35 to the 30, 25 to the 20, and he's tackled at the 18. Huge run, Ivan Cardenas.
At First Farmers Bank and Trust, agriculture has been a cornerstone of our business for more than 135 years. Our personal relationships within the ag community run deep for multiple generations. If you're looking for a financial partner that knows, understands, and supports agriculture, I'd love to hear from you. I'm Isaac Blue, Ag Banker at First Farmers. Come into our Knox, North Judson, or Culver branches, or visit us online at ffbt.com when you're ready to talk about growing your operation. First Farmers Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi and Chris McGowan on the longest running high school sports show in Indiana, the Saturday Sports Line.
Did you catch that touchdown last night? It was insane.
Nope. Missed it. My screen froze and then game over.
You got to get Surf Internet. I've got fast fiber speeds with no throttling ever.
Sounds like a winning play. Sign me up.
Score big with Surf Fiber Fast Internet today. Just $30 a month with AutoPay, including free installation and free Wi-Fi. Visit surfinternet.com. Restrictions apply. Not all speeds available in all areas. Go to surfinternet.com for full offer details.
You're listening to Mitch Columbi and Chris McGowan on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
Twins to the left, takes the snap, steps back, looks to throw, fires deep ball down the far sideline. He's got his man at the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Warriors! And we're back from the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios. This is the Saturday Sports Line. We transition to talk Knox Redskin football. They're still undefeated. Big win last night over conference opponent Tippecanoe Valley on the road. 36-21 was the final. We have head coach of the Knox Redskins, Russ Radtke. Another eventful night for you and your Redskins, Coach. How you feeling?
Well, that's why we're in this conference. The competition is tough all the time, and we found ourselves down. I don't know which quarter it was. Looks like the first quarter is 7-6. So you got to be able to experience the situations so you know how you're going to challenge it later on. And we were able to still come back and do a good job offensively. And we had a big blocked field goal right at the end of the first half. They have a great field goal kicker. This really gave us some insight because they were going to come back out with the ball to start the second half, and we didn't want them as close as they possibly could be. But overall, they're young boys. We got a lot of coaching to do yet. I'm saying you work just as hard when you're 1-3 as you do when you're 4-0.
Yeah. Well, and then something that I remember last year when we did the game where Tippy Valley came here to Knox, I believe it was like one of 2 times that Knox had ever played Tippecanoe Valley. It's very few times, and it was the first win that Knox had ever had against Tippecanoe Valley. I am almost betting that was probably the first win at Tippecanoe Valley the Knox Redskins have ever had, potentially.
Or Coach Radtke.
Death Valley's a hard place to play.
Last time I played there was a semi-state championship.
1979?
1979, got beat 62-8.
And you don't forget that.
We won the third quarter.
Yeah.
8-0. That got them really, upset. And they come back, put about another 20 on us in the fourth. But, they're a great team. They went on to win the state championship after that. But it's a tough situation. To play over there, they're aggressive. They have, all the way there, you're smelling chicken manure and pig manure all the way there. It's just, you're out in the middle of a farm country. It's kind of like going to North Newton.
Right.
When they were tougher than nails years ago, with Shane Hooks and so forth. So all those type of things are atmosphere that our kids need to experience to find going in. And next week's going to be a tough opponent again.
Well, the big story last night that we were told, of course, Miles McLaughlin is now the number 2 all-time rusher in the state of Indiana, passing Sammy Meyerless from Elwood. 51 carries last night for 320 yards on the ground and 5 rushing touchdowns. We've talked about it before. It takes that offensive line as a unit to create those holes for Miles. But once he gets through the hole, man, can he make it happen for you guys?
It wasn't easy to get to those holes. We had a lot of first downs last night. 18 first downs, total offense, 436 yards. Here's something. We were 3 for 4 passing.
That's pretty good. 75%.
Not bad. And we held them to 2 completions on 8 attempts. So yardage, they only had 4 yards passing. Knox had more passing yards than them. That's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
3 or 4. You feeling okay there, Coach? Are you running a fever this morning?
Well, I think
go for 5 next week.
I always say it looks like they have 12 guys on defense, counting the referee. I think they had 13 last night because I think they had the defensive back coach up there too. So they're a very good team. Don't get me wrong. Tippy Valley was 2-2. They had a rough one down with Hamilton Heights a week ago. This is their first home game.
Yeah.
So they definitely had a crowd that was fantastic, but I think ours was there too. And overall, the whole group of young men played hard. And like you're saying, you get those holes and opportunities to be there. We just got to keep working at little things. Here's the difference, okay? Tippy scored on a 42-yard run. Tippy scored on a 56-yard run. And Tippy scored on a 95-yard run.
Wow.
Those are all situations where we put them where we want, and they executed quite well, don't get me wrong. But we were in the wrong spot, and I think we just were not as aggressive. You think you're doing good on first down, second down. Hey, we got them now. Next thing you know, they click off something, and we're not ready. So we've got to get that. And that's what I expect the opponent provides, that challenge for us to improve on, and we'll work on that very hard this week.
So you're in the middle of a 3-game road trip. That was the first of 3. You travel to John Glenn next week, another conference opponent. We will be there for that game. It'll be the first time I've ever done a game at John Glenn. Do you know anything about the Falcons at this time?
Well, they're 2-2 right now, and they beat their major opponent that they have, and that's Jimtown last night, and I believe they beat them over there.
Yes, at
Jimtown also, so that's even harder to do.
14-10,
Boggo Township.
Yeah.
We've got some memories there too, don't we?
Yeah. Well, and then the thing, they got AstroTurf now. So
what?
Oh yeah, AstroTurf. That would never have been there before.
Yeah.
But
is Bill Sharp still around?
I think he's still. He's probably in Florida more than he is
probably there. Right.
But I think he was the athletic director when it all got done. But the point that you're asking about is that their opponent that will be very aggressive. We probably will be their homecoming. I don't know. And it's just a different place to play. And we got to get our kids ready in our atmosphere and so forth to get ready for it, because there's never been an easy game up there.
Well, I know there's more than just one player on the team, Coach, but, I mean, the numbers that Miles McLaughlin is putting up through the first 4 weeks, I mean, this is incredible, Coach. I mean, what do you have to say about it? I mean, I just can't believe it. And I never played football. It's hard for me to fathom.
Well, it's again, I don't watch, and I don't think our coordinator calls the specifics for it. But Weber carried 6 times last night. Singleton's carried 2 times. Ashton carried 2 times. Camden Gardner carried a couple times. So there's other people getting the ball and so forth that we have to keep them honest to where they're at. And then, like I said, when they start coming up too hard, you play through the play action, and great catches were done last night by Kane Weber. He had 2 for 53, and Everidge got 1 for 33. So those completions are as a result of what's coming up. And, of course, you got Miles as the quarterback throwing it too. So his scheme, the big thing is we've got to get ourselves in situations where we're not in the red zone. We scored 4 out of 5 times in the red zone, but we went for it 5 times on 4th down. So that, and we got 3 of them. We got to make sure that we consistently put us down in situation, and we didn't score down there at the 5-yard line when the guy popped it in for 95 yards going the other way. Well, you got to get that in there, and you got to work at that part. So, like I said, these are all teenagers. Some of them even look like they're, baby face yet.
Yeah.
Probably haven't shaved. And a result of that, we're bringing and maturationing these guys along. I got to give it to our trainer. Our trainer, Ashley Woodcraft. We got guys showing up 1 minute. They come to practice on crutches, and 5 minutes later, they're in practice. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's in there smacking them on the head and giving them a challenge with the it's not witchcraft, but "Ho, you're saved," and she cures them. But she's got a lot of mechanical devices she uses in there with her system of the electric stimulus and so forth that's being done to the muscle tissues and so forth. Kane Weber looked like he was down pretty bad last night, and a play later he's back in. So these type of things by a lot of different people helping us along the way are getting a lot of good things done. So we would appreciate, a couple years, with 2 or 3 years, we went without a trainer.
Right, I remember you saying that. Yeah, and you were down a defensive a defensive coach, weren't you, or 2?
And me, and me, I'm just going to put a couple of rolls of tape on you. So
rub some dirt on it. Let's go.
So these are all good things, and we appreciate having her. And it's hard for all schools to get that, even though. I think when we played Chittard a couple years ago, they had 3 trainers.
Yeah.
We definitely appreciate what we get done with ours. And we really feel that the defense is coming along. It looks like, you're giving up 20-some points, Coach, but, we got
3 plays.
Yeah, and 3 plays. Maddox,
3 big plays.
And you look at this, Maddox Kinder led us in tackles, but he was a direct result of one of those touchdowns. Brian Korcha was our number 2 tackler. He was involved in one of those real long touchdowns that he wasn't in the right spot. And Kane Weber had 3 good big solos and a couple of sacks. So overall, it's a good production. And we just got to get everybody geared at the right time. It was hot again last night. Oh, my gosh. Temperature was just, and in the locker room, the heater was on.
They did that on purpose?
The old heat,
a lot of the other school was kind of cool when I went out in the hallway, but our locker room was burning up, and I'm not the one that made it hot at halftime. but there was definitely some systems and so forth. Like I said, and I had our coordinator, and he goes, "Yeah, you're right. That heater is on full blast."
It seems like every time I went to Winamac when I played in high school, it was a sauna in their locker room. But anyway,
oh gosh, here we go.
I would be remiss if I didn't say one more accolade here for Miles McLaughlin and the Knox football program. Going into last night, Miles was the actual number 1 leading rusher in the country going into last night. And another 300-yard game, I would say he's probably still at the top of that list. But to be the number 1 leading rusher in the country
this season,
that's pretty impressive, Coach.
Well, and you know what I'm talking about, and I keep going back to it. Miles will get his acclamations naturally, okay? But if that line can't keep doing what they're doing.
And that's why we named them the athlete, the players of the game last week after the 439-yard.
What'd you call them?
The athlete, the
Ashley Derrickson 5-star players of the game.
I know, but you got a name for them.
I call them the big nasties.
The big nasties.
The big uglies.
He said,
the big nasties.
Big uglies.
Okay, so
but the overall, I'm just going back to it that a lot of people don't see what's going on up there.
Sure.
And then they come out and some of them have to play defense and they're not 100% in that heat. We get in some cold weather, I think we're going to be a pretty good, even better and better team.
Okay, so then let's rephrase these. I know what Chris and I are trying to do. We're not getting what we want. I'm going to ask you a better question. What is the goal then for this team right now? I mean, it's looking really good right now. What is the goal for this Knox Redskin team?
Well, you got to look at the fact that after next week's game, the season's half over.
Yeah.
You believe that?
Yeah.
We're half over next Friday. And we take it to the fact that there's about 78 days to the state championship. You know, we have a countdown clock going in our locker room.
Yeah, let's hope for you and the other team in Stark County that you're only a third of the way through the season after next week.
Well, that's true. The regular season, I should say the regular season. Exactly right. And again, you know, acclamations to North Judson for the fact that you're only as good as your opponent.
Exactly.
And if you can't improve from who you went against and get better, win or lose, because we really, you think, hey, Coach, we won 72-20 last week. What are we doing all? If you got that type of player, you're not going to get anywhere, okay? Right. You're going to get hungrier and be more aggressive at it, and we'll get everything going that direction. But everybody will get their end result. And, we hope, McLaughlin's at a college visit again today, okay? So that means the other 41 players will be in the locker room with me, and we'll be going over all our things. And one of the last things he said is, what time do you need to meet with me tonight? That's the kind of person we have. When I get back and I'm going to do my visitation, I'll meet with you guys later tonight. So he has great leadership, and I think we have great leadership by all our seniors that are going to really keep pushing and making people like Tucker Burns and Keiston Dixon, Easton Minix, that are going to come along and bring people that are the juniors and sophomores underneath them to the level that we got to have right now in order to be a fantastic football game. And that big example, Bo Radtke put that putt block in, a field goal block, just because we knew what type of player they had. And with their result was Ashton Walker got a great field goal block right at the end of the first half. Well, when they came out the second half, they drove down again. We didn't get the block, but it went off to the right. And that's not going to happen by this type of kicker that they have there at Tippy Valley. So something's in his mind that caused that. And, with kickers, you never know what's going on. The referees always ask me, they always want to know whether your quarterback's right-handed, left-handed, punter. And they asked me about my punter. I said, I have no idea. He could kick a left-footed, right-footed. He's a kicker. Those guys, they're strange. You never know what they're going to do.
Right.
But if he's ambidextrous enough to be able to do it, he can avoid a block punt or something by being able to do that. So overall, we're excited about what we're doing. I think our coaching staff's doing a fantastic job, and our administration and everybody that's pushing and working with us all the way from the superintendent down, even in our janitorial services and so forth like that, are all pretty excited right now. So your major question is what's the goal? Is to win next week's game and keep ourselves in that pedestal spot that everybody's trying to knock us off. There's no doubt. They're an opponent we're going to have from here on out that's not out to knock off Knox.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, you're going to get their A game.
Oh, for sure. And they will be and then we got to play 3 on the road here. That's good. It's going to make us tougher for that situation, hopefully, in that run during the tournament.
All right, simple yes or no. Have you found that perfect play yet?
No.
Okay.
78 days, Coach.
I'll work on it.
We're talking with head coach Russ Radtke. We appreciate his time. We will see the Knox Redskins this coming week in John Glenn, going live at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. Myself, along with Jim Collins and Chris McGowan. Don't miss it. Marc call the West Central Trojans. They're undefeated as well. Up next. Tries the hard count, doesn't work. Now looks to the near sideline. Gets back in it. Takes the snap. Pump fake, deep ball down the field, and it's gone. That's by Caleb McEwen, the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Cavs! 2nd and 11, a yard was lost. Spread formation. McEwen takes the snap, steps back, fires to Caleb McEwen, his brother. He's got it to the 45 to the 40, to the 35 to the 30, to the 25 to the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Culver! Caleb McEwen! Adriano out of the gun, takes the snap, hands off to Wolford, up the right side, across the 40 to the 45 to the 50, to the 45 to the 40, 35 to the 30, 25 to the 20. He is going to get to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Tierson Wolford!
Coke Zero is now Coke Zero Sugar, with great Coke taste. Some people were excited to hear the news. Some were skeptical. So we're not going to have the star of the show you're watching come out and say, "You'll love it." No special jingle written by this week's hottest pop star. No famous internet celebs who happen to be holding the label just so. Okay, maybe just one little pour shot. The only thing that will make you believe Coke Zero Sugar has great Coke taste is trying it yourself. Ice cold Coke Zero Sugar. Try one today.
Frayne Mortuary in Winamac is family-owned and operated with 3 locations serving Pulaski County and the surrounding communities. Frayne Mortuary has provided our community with caring and compassionate service for loved ones. Our licensed staff is available to assist you with pre-need funeral planning and at-need funeral planning. We provide traditional burial and cremation services. We offer a full line of headstones and monuments at Frayne Mortuary in Winamac. It's our family serving your family.
Let's continue the conversation with area high school coaches and more on the Saturday Sports Line.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Line. We transition quickly to West Central. The Trojans are undefeated. A huge win on the road last night at Lake Station, 54-14. This is coming off a win last week where they beat Tri-County 76-0. The Trojans are averaging 46.5 points on offense. They're only allowing 7 on defense. Coach, explain yourself.
Well, we've had some guys that have done really well. We've seen the senior group. They've done a really good job of getting everyone to understand what it takes and what's necessary to play the way we want to. And offensively and defensively, we've been able to do that. And it's been great to see. These guys put in a lot of work to get to where we're at right now. And now they're starting to see the fruits of their labor.
Well, I'll tell you what, they've got to be having a fun time because when we saw you in week 2, we thought the confidence was at an all-time high at that point, coming off the win in week 1 against your cross-county rival in Winamac. You beat Culver that night, 32-6. We thought the confidence was at an all-time high there in week 2, and then you fast forward to week 3, 76-0, and then last night, 54-14. How is the locker room right now? It just must be a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're having a good time. Sometimes it's more difficult getting them to rein back in and get focused on some things at times. But they're all having fun. They all get along with each other, and it's good to be around. They're a lot of fun to be with right now, and it's always the case when things are going well. But even when we face some adversity at times, we've come out of it. Like last night, for example, it was a long trip up there. I don't think we're very focused as we were heading up. And then start the game, Lake Station returned the opening kickoff, and they're up 8-0. We're 10 seconds into the game. And at that point, then we responded. And that was nice to see. It's kind of like that week 2 in the Culver game that you guys did, that Culver went right down the field and scored. And I don't think we were very focused at the beginning of that one. Then all of a sudden that woke us up a little bit, and then we were able to play really well the rest of the night. And that's kind of how last night was. They went down and scored quickly, and then we responded. We had Tegan Holly, who is one of our sophomore for us, is a backup wing, had to be a starter for us last night because we had a little bit of an injury at practice with one of our other wings, and he had a tremendous night. Last night he carried the ball 7 times and scored 4 touchdowns.
Wow.
Had 7 carries for 86 yards and 4 touchdowns, and he just did a tremendous job for us. And he also added in 4 catches for 33 yards, and just on that first drive, he kind of sprung us to get moving, because our first 2 downs, actually, we had 0 yards rushing, and then we ran a play to get to the outside with Tegan, and he took 21 yards, and then it was just, we were off at that point, and ended up capping it off with a touchdown, and then we made them quickly go 3 and out on their possession, and we had not seen them punt in any other game yet this year that they had played, and they had been scoring something like 46, 47 points a game, and they were very athletic, and we knew that we were going to have to play really well defensively, and we came out that first drive for them and held them to 0 yards and made them punt. Then we went right down the field again and scored. Then the ensuing kickoff, one of their guys couldn't handle it correctly, and luckily Grant Peter got down there in a hurry and recovered the football for us. So we ended up having the ball pretty much that entire first quarter then, and we're up 16-8 going into the second. We scored quickly at the beginning of the second, make it 24-8. And then they respond, and they get a drive of themselves, and they go down and score, make it 24-14. And then we're able to get things going again as we end out the second quarter there with Tegan adding in 2 more touchdown runs. And at that point, we're up 40-14 at halftime. And I was feeling very good about where we were at that point. I really wanted to get to that running clock. We came out in the third quarter, and we go 3 and out. So it was kind of like the beginning of the game where we took a little bit to get going, but then once we did in the second half, we added in 2 more scores. In that third quarter, it was capped off with Connor rushing one in, and then with Dre Villarreal adding a 44-yard run to end things, and that made it 54-14 late in the third quarter. And then we were able to get to that running clock and get everybody in the game, and then we were ready to get on the bus and come back, because it was a long night. It was, I'm pretty sure it was after midnight before we were at the school. So it was a long night, but it was a successful night, and we're happy to be 4-0 right now. Defensively, we did a really nice job, I thought. They had 3 guys in the backfield that very fast kids. If you let them get to the outside, and it was going to be a bad night for us. And they did that on the opening kickoff. But other than that, defensively, when we had them out there like that, I thought we did a really nice job. They didn't run very many plays because we did force them to go 3 and out a few times. And then offensively, we were able to get some long drives going, take away some clock. And so defensively, tackle-wise, I think on the night we only had like close to 30 tackles total for the entire team, because they just didn't have very many plays. Ezra Rodriguez was able to get several quarterback pressures on them last night, which was really nice to see. Landon Hughes got a sack for us, which was a big one. They were trying to set up a screen, and during practice, like we had shown this like screen to them, like, hey, you've got to be better at defending screens, because every time we do it in practice, we're nowhere near where we need to be. So all week we were getting better and better at it. They tried to run it last night, and we were in great position. The quarterback had nowhere to go, and he started throwing backwards, and Landon Hughes was able to get a hold of him and sacked him for an 18-yard loss. So just great things like that. We had a couple pass deflections by some guys, so just great overall team effort defensively. Then offensively, we had a lot of different guys get a chance to carry the ball. We had, I think, 8 guys on the night that carried the ball. It was pretty well evenly distributed as well. Dre led us on the night with 12 carries for 104 yards and 2 touchdowns. Keegan, as mentioned earlier, had 7 carries for 86 yards and 4 touchdowns. Felipe Zahn had 3 carries for 12 yards. Connor Geber had 8 for 65. And then Ezra and Rodriguez and Rosendo Martinez and Nathan Peter added in a couple carries as well. Connor on the night, we threw it 10 times with him. He was 8 out of 10 on the night throwing for 88 yards. So we had a lot of good things that were working well for us. Just great overall team effort. And it was great to, again, get out of the night 4-0. And now our non-conference schedule is done for the year, and everything can be focused on conference play.
Yeah, final game of your 3-game road trip here this coming week at North Newton. What do you know about them?
They're off to a good start as well. They're 3-1 right now. They've turned some things around the last few years. They've struggled, but they're doing well right now. They outside of that Rensselaer game, they've not given up a whole bunch of points, but that Rensselaer game they gave up like 50-something of the 80-something they've given up on the year. So defensively, they've done well in other games. Offensively, they've done pretty well in other games, because in those 3 games, they're scoring like 90-something points. I think they only scored 6 against Rensselaer. So it's going to be a challenge. They've gotten better, so we've got to make sure that we're ready to go. It's going to be a big game as far as the conference is concerned. Right now, they're sitting at 2-0 in the conference. We're only 1-0, so we're looking up to them and have to chase them down. It's probably going to be, I would imagine, this time of the year that we're in, it's possible that it might be their homecoming. So we got to be ready to go. So they're going to be excited for it, and to see what this matchup is going to be like.
Is there anything, out of all the positive things, this will be the last question here, out of all the positive things you're seeing, is there anything that, I kind of asked you this last week, but are you seeing improvements from the things that you said last week you wanted to tighten up, or are you still seeing things that you got to tighten up a little bit better?
Oh, there's always things that, you ask that to any coach, they're always going to say there's something like you can win. Like last night, there was one score I saw that was like, it was like 88-0. I don't remember who it was, but I'm sure even that coach would probably say there's something. So yeah, there's always something that we can be working on and improving. One of the things that I would love to continue to see us continue to get better at, and we've done a pretty good job of it, but blocking all the way to the whistle. We do a decent job, but then there's plays where if we just block a little bit more, we might have sprung a little bit more. So that's one of the things, just being that consistency, always blocking to the whistle and making sure we're finishing off those things. But I think we're getting better at it. It's one of those things that's, again, 90-95% of the time, but we're doing pretty good. But we got to get to the extra 5 to 10% there. And then tackling always is probably a concern as well as any coach. But last night we did okay. We did miss more than what I would like to see. Some of it is we were diving instead of running through, so just some of those finishing plays off type thing that we just got to keep working at and get better as we roll through the rest of the regular season.
All right, Coach, I guess I'll let you go. I sure do appreciate your time this morning. 4-0, you got to be happy for yourself and Trojan Nation. Keep up the winning ways, and we'll talk next week about a big Trojan win.
All right, thank you. Have a good week.
All right, you as well. That is head coach of the West Central Trojans, Marc Hall, here on the Saturday Sports Line. 4-0 are the Trojans. They finish this 3-game road trip at North Newton this coming Friday. We're going to take a break, come back. We're going to the other side of Pulaski County. We're going to talk about a big Winamac Warrior win with head coach Josh Burgess. He's up next. Don't go anywhere. And the third quarter's underway. Squib up the middle. It's bounced around. The Cavs will pounce on it. They threw the Warriors for the loop. And the Cavs will get out of this with the ball.
That might have been precisely the thing the Warriors didn't want to happen.
So the squib up the middle hits the Warriors right in his beat cotton.
Man.
Bounced right off his face mask, and the Cavs pounce on it. So they will have the ball to start the third.
Are you interested in being part of a rapidly growing local company with competitive pay, opportunity for advancement, and a steady routine? LAP Waste is hiring immediately for a mechanic and both CDL A and B drivers. They offer great health benefits, PTO, holidays, and the ability to be home with your family every evening. Call them today at 574-542-4019 or email your resume to lapwaste@yahoo.com.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
There's a trend happening around the educational world. More and more high school graduates are attending smaller community colleges to start their educational journey. At Marian University's Ancilla College, we welcome students from all walks of life. The opportunities at Marian University are endless, from living on campus to being a collegiate student athlete. From day one, your professors will help you create a plan for a success at Marian and beyond. Find out more about Marian University's Ancilla College through our website at marian.edu/Ancilla today.
Listen for more insight in local high school sports on the Saturday Sports Line. Here's your sports director, Mitch Columbi.
Next play, Adriano under center takes the snap. Wolford up the middle, and he's going to get the touchdown. Touchdown, Warriors.
Got him on a trap there. It looked like he walked in without hardly getting touched.
And we're back from the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios. We're transitioning to talk Winamac Warrior football with head coach Josh Burgess. Big win last night, Coach. You got to feel happy.
Yeah. Happy for the kids. Kids played hard. Did what we asked them to do. Made some adjustments at halftime that helped us out, and they executed. So just thrilled to death for them and the effort, and it was a nice bus ride home last night.
I guarantee it.
So let's get into particulars. Get specifics here. Do you care to share what specific adjustments you made at halftime?
Yeah, we came out and got the first score. Nice touchdown pass from Xavier Adriano to Lewis Rugg. Did a good job, kind of a fake screen. Kind of smoke go, where we call it, and completed it. So felt pretty good going up there. But then second quarter, the McEwen brothers got stuff going on. 3 touchdown passes to Caleb from his brother Jonas, and told Chris off the air. We had guys in position. Wasn't exactly thrilled with our safeties and some of the things they were doing in the first half. So we got to halftime, challenged those guys a little bit. Both Ethan Burgess and Xavier Adriano, and they responded. We kind of shifted Ethan over to Caleb McEwen's side, and, not necessarily playing man, but just making sure he was over the top of him. And, we gave up 220 yards passing, mainly in the second quarter, and then they finished with 250 yards passing. So we held them to about 30 yards passing, got a couple interceptions in the second half, and just did a better job defensively of executing. Was really happy with the whole game with our front seven. Our front seven hadn't played very well the first 3 games. We'd given up a lot of rushing yards to good teams, obviously, but some things that we did last night kind of got that corrected. And I thought, our outside linebackers, inside linebackers, our front 3 defensively, I thought they were very active and did a good job. And I think we held them to under 100 yards rushing for the game. So that was nice to see. And finally, offensively, got a lot of guys involved. You mentioned Tierson off air. Tierson had a big night for us with 170-some yards. But we also got Ivan Cardenas involved with 50 yards. Ethan had 60 yards. Xavier had about 40. So for us to be successful in our run game, we want to get everybody involved. A lot of credit to the guys up front, too. I thought our offensive line really executed last night and did the things we were asking them to do. So overall, really good team win for us and something we can build on moving forward. We've got some work to do still, obviously, but I think we got better from week 3 to week 4. We just need to continue to get better as the season goes on.
And it's something I wanted to clarify. Last night on the air, I had mentioned that the Cavs had 2 timeouts left at the end. That I was incorrect, actually. I wanted to make that correction. The Cavs only had 1 timeout left, and when the Warriors were able to get that first down, there was only less than 90 seconds left in the ballgame. So really, using that 1 timeout wasn't going to change the outcome of the game. I just wanted to clarify that. I know that Chris said he had got a call from someone saying, "What were they thinking?" Well, what was I thinking? I was incorrect on that. The Cavs only had 1 timeout left, but you get that first down at the end of the game, and it's almost like a sigh of relief, I'm sure, for your sideline. I guess we're going to get this one.
Well, and the series before, we made a decision. I made a decision to go for it on 4th down, and we came up a little bit short. Hey, we probably could have punted in that situation, but I'm thinking, hey, we've been moving the ball on the ground. Excuse me. Hey, we got a chance to finish this right here, so we do it. Didn't quite get the yardage we needed to, but had them on about their 30-yard line coming out, and our defense did a good job of closing things out after the fact. So, again, just really happy for our kids and the effort and getting the job done last night.
Pretty nice to have to call for victory formation, huh?
It is. That was nice. It was a nice change. And, we got to halftime, and like I said, was able to make some adjustments,
right.
And the kids responded. A little worried coming out of half. Last thing I said was, be ready for the short onside kick, and, hey, hits one of our kids in the face mask, and they recover. So definitely not the start to the second half that we wanted, but our kids faced some adversity and they responded to that adversity and came out with a win. So really happy with that.
So against their passing attack, were you trying to mix up coverages in the secondary, or were you trying to keep it simple? Winamac's been notorious for playing cover 2. I know back when I played, it was brutal having to always get tackled by the corners and run support. But what were you trying to do in the secondary to try to throw them off a little bit?
Yeah, Austin and Coach, they do a great job, with their just spread. They're not hurry up, but, they're going to take a look at things and change things to the line. So, yeah, we're playing a little cover 2, little man, trying to mix it up. And really, one coverage wasn't any better than the other.
Right.
We just got some guys out of position in both coverages, and they were able to capitalize and take advantage and give their kids credit too. They made plays. They blocked well up front on those 3 touchdown passes they had, and their quarterback got the ball out to one of their best receivers, and he made plays for them. So, like I said, I think, just kind of talking to our kids, refocusing their effort a little bit at halftime, cleaning some stuff up as far as being in position, making sure we break down and tackle better, and our kids did all those things in the second half.
So now you are on the road again, facing a good Triton team. They've been winning here the last couple of weeks, playing good ball. Did you have a chance to see anything last night?
Just a little bit. We were a little bit later getting home, and Triton has it kind of drives me nuts. Hey, they have quick cut instead of huddle. So, the process of downloading film that takes 5 seconds in huddle takes, an hour and a half to download the film and then send it over. And hey, once I got it done, I'm not Mr. Technology by any stretch of imagination, especially at, 11:30. I'm calling my brother Brandon. I'm like, hey, you need to walk me through this process so we can get this done.
It's a pain.
So it's just different. And hey, that works for them, and that's great. But as far as Triton's concerned, offensively, they've been putting up a lot of points. They've got several really good backs coming back from last year. Up front, looks like they've got some size and some speed. Defensively, they're playing a 4-front, and their front 4 guys are just super aggressive off the line. So it's going to be a challenge going over to Triton anyway. Just playing there, it's kind of a different atmosphere. Always have a tough time playing there, and their kids will be ready to go. Got a new coach, but it looks like they've got things rolling the way that they've been rolling. So we're excited for the challenge. We're going to have to do some things to get better this week, but we're looking forward to Friday night.
You looking forward to making that walk across the parking lot?
Yeah, it's just like you say, it's just a weird place. The school's back there. You come across the parking lot. It's kind of in a residential area. Once you get to the field, the houses are right behind there. So, that's going to add to it. But it's another challenge for our kids. I thought we did a good job last night as far as getting off to a good start. We changed some things up with our pregame, getting the kids moving a little bit more. And I thought our kids responded to that and had ourselves ready to go from the start. So we're going to continue to get better with those things and, hopefully come out with a win on Friday night.
How's the health of the ball club?
We're in pretty good shape right now. Just some of the normal bumps and bruises. We had some guys limping off the bus last night, but that's typical after playing pretty physical football game. And it was physical last night. Culver was very physical. We try to be physical as well. And I bet we've got some guys that are a little sore this morning. They got to take care of themselves this weekend. But I think we'll be in good shape come Monday.
Is there anything that you wanted to? You had success, but also something that stuck out to me was both teams had unforced penalties. There were penalties at times where you had the big play that was taken back, and not only was it just on the Cavs side, but you had some issues as well. Talk about getting that, because there were some big plays. Tierson Wolford broke away. There was a big pass play, if I'm not mistaken, at one point. There was just a lot that happened that had to come back, and that kind of stalled the game and made it just take more time.
Yeah, obviously we don't want those penalties. We got to clean that stuff up. I thought, though, a couple of those penalties, and again, hey, not criticizing the officials, that they do the best job they can, but a couple holding calls on the outside I thought that we had were pretty questionable. We had a holding call on Tierson when he ran the ball. So I'm still trying to figure that one out, how that works. So didn't get a number on that. So again, hey, we did some things that we need to get cleaned up, some pre-snap penalties, things along those lines. So we're going to continue to make that a point of emphasis and try to get better at that.
And you scored 30 points. You got to be happy about that. The offense is finally getting things going. You got 21 in week 2, but week 1 it was a tough one, only 8. And then last week you didn't get any points on the board. So this was a big turnaround. This felt like a different vibe, a different team.
Yeah, I thought both sides up front, offensively and defensively. We don't talk about those kids a lot, but offensively, you got Walker Lovely, Cody Wheeler, Cale Federer, Lane Tetzloff, Aaron Harden. You can throw Hank Haschel in there to tight end. I thought those guys were quicker off the ball. They did a good job, especially with our perimeter run game late, but also our interior run game, and just know what they were doing and playing a little bit faster. And then our defensive front with Cody Wheeler plays in there, but we had Hank Haschel. A kid I'll mention is Keegan Coe. Keegan's a freshman. He was about 6'5" and about 200 pounds. We had him playing nose last night, and for him to keep his pad level down and play the way that he did, I thought especially in the third and fourth quarters, he did a really nice job for us coming in and getting the job done there. So, we've got some guys we can roll in at the defensive line that played pretty well. Alex Stonebreaker's another kid that's a sophomore that's starting to come around too for us. So I thought that was a big key to the game last night. The guys up front on both sides of the ball, I thought were better, and we got a lot of young guys up there. They're going to continue to get better as we progress through the season.
That fumble recovery at the very end, towards the end of the game, that you guys were able to get hold of, that was our Stark County Co-op play of the game. And then our Ashley Derrickson, this is what Chad Watts decided, and I agreed with him. We went Ashley Derrickson 5-star co-players of the game. We gave it to Tierson Wolford and Ethan Burgess. We thought those two guys really did the work that you guys needed. Of course, there were other guys that made those big runs happen for them, but we just felt like those two really stepped up, saying, we're not going to lose this game. We're the leaders here.
Yeah, those guys have to provide leadership for us. And like I said, we challenged Ethan, especially at halftime, and he responded really well. I was pleased with that. Mentioned Tierson. Another guy that I didn't mention that I should is Michael Scheidler. Michael's a junior for us. Has done a nice job. His freshman year, he wasn't eligible, didn't have the grades, and he's really worked to get himself turned around in the classroom, got himself eligible at the end of the year last year, and now he's a starter for us. He had that fumble recovery at the end. He forced the fumble at the end, but he had a big game for us, had, I think, 12 defensive points, fumble recovery, did a really nice job playing inside linebacker last night too. So, like I said, it was a total team effort with a lot of guys contributing, and that's what pleased me probably the most about the game last night.
What's going to be the emphasis this week in practice?
Just continuing to get better. I thought we got some things squared around defensively. I think we're finally in kind of a defense that we can run that best fits our kids. It's taken us a little while to get there, but I think we found something we can kind of hang our hat on. So just need to get better with our assignments and our reads defensively, and then just the same thing offensively too. Making sure that our pad level's where it needs to be, getting off the ball consistently, taking advantage of things both in the run and pass game when we have the opportunity to do so. So again, we want to win every game that we're we're at, but we want to keep getting better as we get closer to the tournament. I think I heard Coach Radtke say after this week we're halfway through potentially regular season, and that's true. It's just amazing how fast,
how quick it goes.
It goes when you're in it. So we don't have a ton of opportunities before the tournament. We've got to keep getting better each week to make sure that we're playing our best football when the tournament rolls around.
What'd you tell them in the locker room post-game after that win?
Not a lot. The kids were excited. Just said, hey, just really happy with the effort. Really excited for them. And, they work hard in practice, and they deserved to have that win and get that done. So, just pleased to death with the kids and their effort and the way that they came out last night, especially after a couple tough ones the last 2 weeks. It was nice for us to get that win, and it sure made the bus ride home a little bit better. So we were excited about that.
Well, you'll hit the road to Triton. What's your message to Warrior Nation in hopes they come to Bourbon, Indiana to support you guys?
Yeah, our kids work hard. They deserve your support, and I know it's a long ride over there, but hey, what else you can do on a Friday night?
Right.
Hey, drive over there, support our kids. We'll have our kids ready to go, and we'll be excited for the opportunity on Friday night.
All right, Coach. Well, congratulations on the win last night. I appreciate you coming in this morning, and we'll talk soon.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys and all the things you do for us. Thank you.
Likewise. Thank you. That is head coach of the Winamac Warriors football team, Josh Burgess, here on the Saturday Sports Line. We're going to have the Athlete of the Week interview, our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week interview with Jacobie Mills from West Central's up next. Don't go anywhere. We'll talk Austin Foust of the Culver Cavaliers football team. Then we will talk Buzz Schoff with South Central's head football coach. And then we will have a three-way interview. We will have a interview with Culver volleyball head coach Andrea Berndt. Then we will talk Culver girls soccer with AJ Neace, and then button things up with the West Central Trojans cross-country team, Jeremy Glasford, before the Where the Now segment. So, second hour, we're going on overtime. Stay tuned. More to come after this. The 15-16-yard line in Cavalier territory. Adriano out of the gun, takes a snap, hands off to Ethan Burgess up the left side, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Warriors!
It's hard to believe, but time sure does fly by. Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox are celebrating over 30 years of taking care of all of your insurance needs in our communities.
If I could turn back time.
And we're not going anywhere.
Stop in and see Jim and the crew at Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox.
Insurance you can count on from a business you've trusted since 1989.
Proud presidential partners of Western Reserve.
The Stark County Co-op has been a member-owned farm services co-op in Stark County since 1928. That's over 90 years, and they're still providing the same quality agronomy services to the farming community of Stark and surrounding counties. The Stark County Co-op is an LP and fuel provider. The Stark County Co-op purchases grain at both locations, Hamlet and Brems. You can reach them by phone at 1-800-782-3392, the Stark County Co-op.
It's time now for Hour 2 of the Saturday Sports Line with your host, Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI Sports Director, Mitch Columbi, and sports analyst, Chris McGowan.
Back for more from the Pulaski Memorial Hospital Studios. This is the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, the Saturday Sports Line. It's time to talk about our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week, senior cross-country runner from West Central, Jacobie Mills. Jacobie placed first in the 421 run, and head coach Jeremy Glasford told us behind the scenes he has been working very hard, Jacobie has, to get to that point, winning his home meet. He has some goals he's going to tell us about here in this segment. You're going to want to hear this. So without further ado, here is our sit-down interview with West Central cross-country runner, Jacobie Mills.
Man, Jacobie, quite a fantastic win, the 421 run. We will have a chance to talk with Coach Glasford later on in this hour. But right now, my first question to you is, what is it about running that you love?
It's really calming, and I just enjoy doing it.
What drives you? What is a goal that you have in mind this season?
I want to get a school record and go to state.
And what is the school record right now?
16 minutes and 22 seconds.
And where are you right now?
17-19.
So you have some work to do, you have some time, but this is a goal of yours that you're hoping to achieve. Talk about winning the 421 run. You know, that's your home meet. That had to have been pretty special for you. What did it feel like to you?
It was just good to win at home. That was the first time I got first place. That was a perfect place to get first at.
And what were some of the teammates saying? Maybe your coaching, maybe your parents. What were some of the messages that you were hearing after you won?
They're just proud that I got first of that meet.
Yeah. And let's talk about some of the other runners on this team. Who else do you believe we should know about?
John Heilman and Bo Lindahl. They're just now starting. They've got a lot of potential for them.
Yeah, I've heard through the grapevine that you're also a motivator as well. What is it about being a leader that has kind of taken over? I mean, you obviously don't have a problem with being calm under pressure and sharing some positive vibes with other people. Talk about what you think your role is on this team and what you provide.
Well, I just want to push our team to be the best that we possibly could be.
What do you think the goal is overall for this team? You talked about the goals you have. What's an overall goal for this team?
And be the best we can and place the best we can in meets.
Yeah, talk about Coach Glasford. What is it about him that you appreciate?
He's always pushing everybody and wants everybody to be the best that they can.
Tell us your parents' names.
Ashley Kafka and Michael Mills.
And talk about the support system they've been for you.
My mom's always gotten me practice when I couldn't get there myself, and my dad's going to be on every meet he can be.
What's it mean to Jacobie Mills to be a West Central Trojan?
It's just nice to be one of the better runners at a really small school.
Well, Jacobie, I sure do appreciate your time, man. Congratulations. Good luck on getting that goal, shaving off close to a minute, man. I hope it happens for you. Congratulations for being named one of our Tyler Roth WKVI Athletes of the Week.
Thank you.
Thank you to Athletic Director Jeff Messer for setting that up. As we are going to take a quick break, hey, head coach of the Culver Cavaliers football team, Austin Foust, is on the other side. Don't go anywhere. The Saturday Sports Line continues after this.
Lady, hear me tonight, 'cause my feeling is just so right as we dance by the moonlight. Can't you see you're my delight? Lady, I just feel like I won't get you out of my mind. I feel love for the first time, and I know that it's true. I can tell by the look in your eyes.
The Stark County Co-op has been a member-owned farm services co-op in Stark County since 1928. That's over 90 years, and they're still providing the same quality agronomy services to the farming community of Stark and surrounding counties. The Stark County Co-op is an LP and fuel provider. The Stark County Co-op purchases grain at both locations, Hamlet and Browns. You can reach them by phone at 1-800-782-3392, the Stark County Co-op.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi and Chris McGowan on the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, the Saturday Sports Line.
Pulaski Memorial Hospital. Quality care closer to home. Pulaski Memorial Hospital is all about community and keeping our community spotlight shining on the accomplishments of our youth. That's why PMH is proud to be a sponsor of our local high school sports action on WKVI, our community radio station. Pulaski Memorial Hospital. Quality care closer to home.
There's a trend happening around the educational world. More and more high school graduates are attending smaller community colleges to start their educational journey. At Marian University's Ancilla College, we welcome students from all walks of life. The opportunities at Marian University are endless, from living on campus to being a collegiate student athlete. From day one, your professors will help you create a plan for a success at Marian and beyond. Find out more about Marian University's Ancilla College through our website at marian.edu/Ancilla today.
Here's more with area high school coaches as we return to the Saturday Sports Line from the Pulaski Memorial Hospital Studios on K99.3.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Line, the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, thanks to our very own Harold Welter. We transition to talk Culver Cavalier football with head coach Austin Foust. Man, coach, tough loss last night to the Winamac Warriors, 30-22. There were a lot of positives from that game, though, I felt like, that you could take away for the Cavs. I know it didn't end the way that you wanted it to, but there were a lot of good things that happened.
Yeah, no, that's what we told the guys on the field after the game. That this one sucks, hurts, right? We played well, did some good things, probably more positives than negatives. But sometimes in life it didn't go your way. Too many kind of big plays and certain things that kind of killed us. And only thing you can do is get back up tomorrow, right, and keep playing. Get up Sunday morning, watch some film, get up Monday, get back together with the guys, and keep getting better. That's what makes football suck sometimes, but so good too, because there's some life lessons you learn in it, and even as coaches, what it takes to keep rolling, and you have. You have a big game, homecoming. I mean, we had a great crowd. I mean, it was awesome. It was a fun football game to be a part of, and you got to give credit to Winamac. They just kind of wore us down in the second half, and they made one more play than we did.
One thing that stuck out to us up in the booth, Chad and myself, of course, our special guest Chad Watts was up there with us last night, but one thing that stuck out to us for both teams was really some costly penalties that you just kind of want to clean up by week 4 and talk about some of those situations. You guys, as well as the Warriors, had big plays that were brought back due to some costly penalties.
Yeah, we have the lead 22-14. We come out of the half and we said, hey, I told the boys in the huddle, hey, what's Hoko week without doing something crazy? So let's call an onside kick, and we had worked it all week based on some things we saw on film. And Caleb kind of put way too much into it. We didn't really want to go 20 yards, but it took a bad bounce and hopped up them, and we recovered it. And so I said, let's kind of keep our momentum. So we hit a reverse to Braylon, did a nice job. We had a penalty that put us behind, and we kind of called a play call that I think they were kind of giving us, but we just didn't run it correctly. And it ended up turning the ball over. And then obviously down here on their tying touchdown, we had a pass interference call that was one of those that it was close. And you can't fault our guys. We're right there kind of, in good coverage. One of those things. It was kind of, one of those 50-50 penalties kind of thing where, you can't fault the kid at all. He's giving effort. And, that was a big penalty. And, those are things we just got to talk about and kind of clean up. And, it was both sides had some big penalties that, Winamac had penalties too that helped us. But those are things we just got to clean up as we get on. And we told our guys, you want to be playing your best football by week 10. And we got to, keep improving.
Yeah, I thought Jonas McEwen connected with his brother. We saw the first touchdown pass the season between them, and they did well together. They connected well. Even Chad was saying up in the booth, it's almost like they don't have to communicate. They already know what to expect from each other. Talk about that relationship and connecting with the McEwen brothers. I mean, that had to feel good.
Yeah, it was about time. He's a marked man out there. That's the biggest thing. Caleb is a really good receiver, and last year, we got that McEwen to McEwen connection going late, and this year to start the season, I mean, he's a marked guy. You can hear him yelling where 80 is and things, and he had some of his touchdowns on the ground to start the year off for us, and Caleb, played a heck of a game for us offensively. He had three receiving touchdowns, and again, most of them are kind of on hitches. I mean, just him, good downfield blocking by Jordan Green and things, and Jonas getting enough time and putting it on where he needs to be. So, hopefully we can keep that going forward, and again, just kind of bringing on our other skill guys and keep improving.
Yeah, it felt like you guys were running the ball well. I mean, you had more obviously I don't see the stats from week 2, but it seemed like you guys are trusting the run game a little bit more than maybe you did at West Central. Maybe I'm just saying that from what I think in my head, but it just felt like you guys are comfortable running the ball now.
Yeah, we got a little better. We got to continue to get better. We kind of added a little bit more of a quarterback run game to help us. Jonas did a good job there, and that was something Winamac hadn't seen. So, that helped us kind of take some pressure off our running back, and I thought our linemen started out. We did a good job. Second half, kind of talk. We just weren't staying on our blocks long enough. When we came out last night, and I thought we did a little bit better. But again, we just kind of wore down, and there were just some penalties where, we just kind of fell off offensively. We were just kind of always playing from behind the sticks or we're needing something here, and those are kind of the things that we just got to get, continue to clear up. And the best thing is, you look at the future and things we got. Again, we got another week where we're playing a JV game.
Yeah.
And that's what we kind of keep trying to tell our younger kids and things that we numbers wise and what we have. Again, this is going to be huge for us having this JV game on Monday against Winamac, and we had a really good JV game with our kids against Triton, and guys are making plays and things like that. And again, it's just that confidence and belief thing. And we're in a situation too. It's been a little bit since we've kind of won here consistently, and I think you could feel some of the pressure.
Sure.
We're just telling the guys, hey, just relax. We're fine.
Yeah.
Like, it's a football game. It's
Yeah.
tied. This and that, and because our kids want it so bad, and it's just, again, how do we do what we need to do to win a football game, that kind of stuff. And we're gonna keep working at it. We're gonna keep teaching, and we're gonna get back to the drawing board over the weekend with the staff, and get the kids on film on Monday.
Couple of, not really injuries, just some cramps going on. Isaiah Vela went down at one point. He was able to get off the field. And then Jonas McEwen. How is the health of the ball club?
Yeah, I think we're good. Vela, I think kind of got the wind knocked out of him. He was able to come back in and finish the game. Jonas was too as well. He said he just had the worst cramp of his life.
It did look like it was tough.
It was, when I went out there and grabbed his calf, it was
seizing.
You could feel it. It was like, you're either cramping there or you got the biggest calves in the world, son. But no, he's going to be fine. We just didn't put him back in defensively just in case they were going to try to go by him or something like that. Just get some fresh legs and stuff. But if we would have got the ball back there, he would have been back in at quarterback. And he played tough. McEwen boys gave us everything that they got, and a lot of our guys did. Again, we just kind of wore down right there. It's kind of the Greg Schiano chopping the wood, right? Kept chopping kind of thing, and they were able to break us a little bit towards the end.
Well, it doesn't get any easier. You see the Jays of North Judson-San Pierre next week at Liberty Field. Last year was a tough one for you guys. What do you do when you prepare for a team like Judson? How do you stay positive and want to keep everybody on the same page? Hey, if we are able to do what we did tonight, we should be able to do a lot of the same things we've done.
Yeah, again, our kids are really good. So far in the season of kind of being able to wash stuff and coming things back, and again, just being excited to play football. We started the year in August, I think, August 4th, our first day of practice. Told the seniors, guys, we have 50 guaranteed practices. That's all you have.
Yeah.
And I would have thought it was longer if you would ask me how many practices we have guaranteed. And, we keep telling our guys, hey, season's half over. Seniors, season's half over.
Yeah.
So I think that helps our guys that, again, know that the opportunity to play football, high school football, is a special thing. So we talk to our guys about that. Again, you can't take anything for granted. And again, we just got to continue trying to get better and getting better. And again, it's week 10. That's where we want to be playing our best football. And we've seen guys, again, the last 2 weeks, I felt like Triton and Winamac step up and make some plays. And again, I know I said this on the other radio station, 98.3 with Rusty, but you got keep thinking out there. We got a couple guys that. This is their fourth ever high school football game that they played in and playing both ways for us. And this is the fourth different offense they've seen, and we're asking them to do this and that. And, those are things that you got to just kind of keep remember. And, you step back and you say, okay, this kid didn't do this week 1, got a little better week 2, saw him do this week 3, now we're doing this week 4.
Yep.
Again, it's those little things, the building blocks, and looking at it, where sometimes we forget about it. And I think we're going to watch film and realize again just how close we were, and there are a lot of positives. And again, now we just got to get past this being close, and just kind of knock the door down.
Well, Coach, as always, I appreciate your time. Good luck this week in preparation for North Judson. But as always, it's good to see you, Coach. Thanks so much.
Yeah, we appreciate everything you guys do. Thank you.
All right, that is head coach of the Culver Cavaliers football team, Austin Foust, here on the Saturday Sports Line. We're going to take a break, come back. Buzz Show for the South Central Satellites is up next.
Did you catch that touchdown last night? It was insane.
Nope. Missed it. My screen froze and then game over.
You gotta get Surf Internet. I've got fast fiber speeds with no throttling ever.
Sounds like a winning play. Sign me up.
Score big with Surf Fiber Fast Internet today. Just $30 a month with AutoPay, including free installation and free Wi-Fi. Visit surfinternet.com. Restrictions apply. Not all speeds available in all areas. Go to surfinternet.com for full offer details.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi and Chris McGowan on the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, the Saturday Sports Line.
At First Farmers Bank and Trust, agriculture has been a cornerstone of our business for more than 135 years. Our personal relationships within the ag community run deep for multiple generations. If you're looking for a financial partner that knows, understands, and supports agriculture, I'd love to hear from you. I'm Isaac Blue, Ag Banker at First Farmers. Come into our Knox, North Judson, or Culver branches, or visit us online at ffbt.com when you're ready to talk about growing your operation. First Farmers Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender.
Frayne Mortuary in Winamac is family-owned and operated with 3 locations serving Pulaski County and the surrounding communities. Frayne Mortuary has provided our community with caring and compassionate service for loved ones. Our licensed staff is available to assist you with pre-need funeral planning and at-need funeral planning. We provide traditional burial and cremation services. We offer a full line of headstones and monuments at Frayne Mortuary in Winamac. It's our family serving your family.
Let's continue the conversation with area high school coaches and more on the Saturday Sports Line.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Line. We now transition to South Central. Head coach Buzz Schoff, I've got him on the line. Coach, another tough one to swallow. Talk about the Triton Trojans and what they provided that made it so tough.
Yeah, so I mean, we knew going in that they were a tough ball club, that they were gonna run the ball a lot, and we had to stop their run game. And we were in position a lot of times, and we just didn't end up making that tackle. So we had them in a lot of good situations that we felt confident in. A lot of third and longs, a lot of second and longs, and we just weren't able to capitalize on those positioning at times. So. We kind of, just dropped the ball on that in that regard. We played tough on first down and second down, and then kind of laid an egg on third down. So, you can't you can't do that against good ball clubs, and they made us pay for it when they had to. A lot of their scores were longer, 30, 40, 50-yard runs. So we just we played well at times, but just didn't play well enough to stay in the ballgame.
Yeah, it's got to be a tough one, too, facing Triton in Bourbon. I've heard it's a tough place to play overall, but a positive to take away. Is there anything in the game that you saw where you hadn't seen the weeks prior that you see the positive, you see the growth? Is there anything right now that you're happy with?
Yeah, so I mean, I think we found out a lot about our players tonight. I think that we had some question marks going into the game as far as, do we have kids in right positions? Would it be better if we flip-flop some things? And tonight we just kind of pulled the trigger on it and just kind of changed some kids around and put them in different spots and saw what they could do, and saw that maybe we tried to overcoach ourselves a little bit and tried to do the best we could, but maybe had some kids out of position. And once we made that switch, it kind of hit a little bit. So, we played much better in the second half. Obviously, it's a different ballgame in the second half of a game like that. But, I think moving forward, we got the missing pieces that we're looking for. So, we just got to build off this and continue to play strong.
Haven't been home since week 1. That has to be a positive. You'll host Caston, another conference opponent, this coming Friday. Are you happy you're going to be home? And then second, what do you know about Caston at this time, if anything at all?
Yeah, so I mean, just looking at the film right now, just got it sent over. But I know that it's not an automatic game. We got to play our best. Caston is on the upswing a little bit here. They've been playing tough. Lost to Pioneer tonight, 45-13, I believe. So it'll be a tough game. So I know that they sent their roster over earlier this week. A lot of younger guys playing, but it seems like those younger guys have really kind of picked up their system, and they're kind of running a little bit. So, they got their things moving along. So we just got to come ready to play.
Week 4 already in the books, Coach. How's the health of the ball club?
So we're good. We got a lot of aches and bruises, but nothing keeping us away. So, we just got to make sure that we stay strong and that we continue to keep our heads up. Obviously, over the past couple of weeks, it's easy to get your head down, but we can't feel sorry for ourselves. And the only way to get out of this rut is to keep playing and keep moving forward.
Well, Coach, I always appreciate talking to you. Keep staying positive. Remember back to that week 2 at Boone Grove. You guys were right there in that game. You've got the pieces of the puzzle, and we'll talk to you next week, hopefully about a big satellite win.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. If you can't be positive, then you're not the right guy for the job. So we're going to keep at it. We're going to go back at it tomorrow and back at it on Monday, and we'll get this thing figured out. And the gauntlet part of our season is over, but that doesn't mean that we get to take it easy. We haven't proven anything yet, and we still got a lot to prove to ourselves and to everybody else. So we're just excited for the opportunity.
Well, Coach, try to enjoy your weekend in preparation for next week, and we'll talk soon.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks, Mitch.
All right, that is head coach of the South Central Satellites, Buzz Schoff, here on the Saturday Sports Line. We're going to take a break, come back, more sports talk on the way. You're listening to KVB's WKVI. It's the Saturday Sports Line.
It's hard to believe, but time sure does fly by. Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox are celebrating over 30 years of taking care of all of your insurance needs in our communities.
If I could turn back time.
And we're not going anywhere.
Stop in and see Jim and the crew at Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox.
Insurance you can count on from a business you've trusted since 1989.
Proud presidential partners of Western Reserve.
Coke Zero is now Coke Zero Sugar with great Coke taste. Some people were excited to hear the news. Some were skeptical. So we're not going to have the star of the show you're watching come out and say, "You'll love it." No special jingle written by this week's hottest pop star. No famous internet celebs who happen to be holding the label just so. Okay, maybe just one little pour shot. The only thing that will make you believe Coke Zero Sugar has great Coke taste is trying it yourself. Ice cold Coke Zero Sugar. Try one today.
It's time for more Kankakee Valley area sports talk worldwide on K99.3 FM and WKVI.com.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Line, the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, thanks to our very own Harold Welter. We now turn to talk some other sports going on here in the fall, and I thought we'd start at Culver Community. We'll talk a couple of sports here at Culver, but let's start with the girls' volleyball team, and we have on the line head coach Andrea Berndt. Coach, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for calling.
No, of course. Boy, the story last year, quite an amazing run for you and the girls. Of course, we put that to bed and we move forward. A lot of girls departed, but you've got a team that you've been working on, and I'm sure a lot of holes you had to plug. Tell us that story.
Absolutely. We have started off this year with two of our seniors, Hayden Lute and Gracie Milam. They had decent amount of varsity experience last year on the court. So coming back with a little bit of experience, a little bit of knowledge, trying to carry the tradition on. We've got three juniors, Haley Parker, Liv Davis, Sophie Grossman Norris. Those three have also played some varsity minutes for us. Now, not as much, but we have looked to have them fill some big shoes this year. And then we have three sophomores, Ashlyn Berndt, Chloe Lewis, Maddie Moon, that are really having to stand up step up this year and fill some big shoes. And we're learning to adjust. We're learning to see who's best in what spot and what their strengths are and what their weaknesses are and what we need to work on, because again, they're fairly new to the varsity program.
Yeah, you mentioned Hayden Lute and Gracie Milam, the only 2 seniors on this varsity squad. So talk about the leadership that you need to have from them and then the other 3 juniors that you mentioned.
I think leadership comes natural to Hayden for sure. And of course, I think it comes natural to Gracie as well, being big into softball. So they're having to step in and fill some roles that they haven't necessarily had to, because following the senior group that we had, they really didn't have that much on their shoulders. And this year, we're all trying to navigate leadership, skills on the court, things that we need to change, just analytical stuff. But they're doing a great job of leading. Haley Parker, Liv Davis, and Sophie are also our upperclassmen, and they're doing a great job of trying to fill those roles as well.
Yeah, and it looks like you have a pretty strong junior varsity team as well. I'm sure that helps when practice and there's that many girls working together.
We do, and we just had 2 more, I shouldn't say just, but we've just had a couple girls join us later in the season after it started. So Macy Reinhold being one of those that had played through middle school, through growing up, and then took her freshman season off and is back as a sophomore this year. So looking to have her step up and fill some of those roles too. We've got some freshmen that are coming in that are new to the game a little bit too, but I tell you what, their attitudes and their just willingness to learn has been a breath of fresh air, that they're really there to learn and care. They really care about the sport.
Talk about the coaching staff. Who do you have with you this year?
So we return the same coaching staff. We have Stephanie Spillner as our JV, Michael Skiles as our assistant, Amanda Minix and Ben Spillner as our volunteers, and then Lucy Overmeyer will volunteer and do stats for us. So the same coaching staff that we have had, which is it's just a well-oiled machine at this point.
Yeah, you had that amazing run last year. Talk about the goals coming into this year as a head coach and the rest of the coaching staff. What are you guys talking about maybe in the off season? I mean, you want to be successful every year, and we talk to other coaches. They want to win every game no matter what, and we understand that. But as the head coach, what is something that you kind of are striving for this season when it comes to a goal?
The girls wrote down at the beginning of the year just a list of their season goals. And I won't say what all of them are, but some of their goals aren't necessarily wins and losses. It's a little bit of the leadership role and who's going to fill some of those big roles. It's communication, it's energy, it's keeping that feeling of momentum on our side of the court when we can get it. And I will say that we've struggled with that a little bit, but I think some of these ups and downs that we're seeing should level out here soon. And they're all still fairly new to each other and playing together. So I think now that we've had 11 games under our belt, I think we're starting to see a little bit of that leveling out.
Let's talk about some positives, maybe also some things you want to work on. What are some good things you're seeing from the girls right now against opponents, but then also some things you need to work on?
It's been nice to see positive-wise. It's been nice to see our girls. We've changed some lineups a little bit because we've had Maddie Moon just rolled her ankle. So she's been out for a couple matches. So having Haley Parker step in, she's our DS. So having a DS play in the front row has been a positive for us, and our girls trying to make those switches and those changes, because it's not easy necessarily in like a serve receive or, just the logistics of it. It's not been easy. So the girls have worked really, really well together and helping each other get by some of those hurdles. I do think our strength is that these girls do get along. They do like each other. They do want to be successful. They have a taste of what it felt like, and they still want to get there. They still have high expectations.
Well, it's kind of hard to believe when I'm looking at your schedule, Coach. We're already almost at the halfway point through the regular season. Are you where you'd hope you'd be, or do you still have some things you need to tighten up?
I think we still have some things to tighten up. There's a few of those matches that I would like to have had, but I think that comes with experience. I think it comes with us we're a young varsity team with experience. So I think just pushing through and getting, the first 5 points of the match or ending the match and finishing that out. There's some things that we still need to learn. So I think a couple of them got away from us, and we would like to have opportunities to get those back.
One of them, it looks like it may have been at South Central.
It may have been. Yep, may have been.
Always is a rivalry matchup between you two. Well, Coach, I sure do appreciate your time today. What would be your message to Cavalier Nation in hopes they come out and support these girls for the work they're putting in?
We had an amazing community following last year, and I can't thank the community enough for coming out and doing that for us last year. We'd love to see their support again this year, no matter if we win sectionals, we don't win sectionals, just being at each and every match and supporting us, following along online would be fantastic.
All right, Coach, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
All right, we stay at Culver and transition to the girls soccer program. We talk with head coach A.J. Neace. And man, Coach, your girls, they just seem to start the season off every year out strong. At the moment of this interview right now, you're undefeated at 7-0. You guys must be feeling pretty good.
Yeah, we feel pretty good. Last Saturday, we beat Argus for the conference championship, and that was the first time we beat Argus.
Wow.
Ever. So we're sitting pretty high right now.
Yeah, big rivalry game like that. Of course, you always go up against Argus, and we know the soccer program that they've had for a long time. Talk about the camaraderie of this team. It just seems every year we talk, it just gets better and better as time goes on.
Yeah, I always tell the girls every year that we don't really care how we're playing in August and beginning of September. Towards the end of September, getting into October, that's where we want to be playing our best soccer. So wins, lose, draws during that time don't matter, but when we get down to brass tacks at the end of the year, that's when we want to be winning as much as we can, playing our best soccer.
Yeah, we remember her last year, Ava McCune. You think about taking over for someone like Giselle Villegas, and then you're lucky enough to have a freshman last year in Ava McCune. Now she's a sophomore, leading the team in goals per match at 1.5 goals per game, and then the senior Brianna Hamilton right behind her, just under 1 goal per game, and Ileana Andrzejewski, she's just doing an amazing job for your team. Talk about maybe them a little bit, but also some other players we need to know about.
Yeah, it's been pretty tough to start the season for Ava because the amazing year she had last year. But now everybody knows who she is.
Right.
So the first 5 or 6 games, nobody wants to play her one-on-one. So they're kind of packing the box, guarding her with 2 or 3 girls, and that's leaving open Eliana and Bree and Alexis Casanovas and some of those other girls that didn't get those touches last year. Ava's taking some of that defensive pressure away from them, and it's making their jobs a lot easier.
Yeah, let's talk about some of the positives you've seen. I mean, from our vantage point, it's all positive, but talk about some of the exciting things you've seen up to this point in the season that you're really proud of.
My defense. My defense is locked down. I think we've given up 5 goals in 7 games. So we're almost averaging more on the offensive end than we're giving up on the defensive end, which leads to wins.
Yeah.
But Brooke Davis is an outstanding athlete. You hear her name in basketball, you hear her name on the softball field. She is probably one of the best, if not best, defenders I've had since I took over.
Wow.
She does a great job. I put her up there with Amaya Williams. They just control the game from the back end. And then right next to her, you have Abigail Zahner, that she played mid for me last year, and I put her back on defense, and it seems like nobody's getting through those 2 dogs right there. And one other thing, Mitch, that we just got put into the top 20 rankings at number 19 for the season.
Wow, good for you, Coach. Well, you got to love that when you can hold it down defensively. You've got your forwards up front taking care of business, and they're running around just doing what you need to do. And now you're halfway through the season. It's hard to believe, Coach. What are some things that, not everything's perfect. I know you're undefeated, but what are some things that you're thinking about on the back end, like, hey, we need to tighten this up if we're going to have a postseason run?
Yeah, there's always things you need to improve on or work on, and I think our biggest thing is keeping in our formation and making our runs from the outside to the middle. Because there's been a couple of games where we play on smaller fields, and it's like my forwards are playing mids, and my midfielders are playing my defense, and my defense is right on top of my goalkeeper. And if you've ever been over to our field, we have probably the biggest field that you can have for Indiana soccer.
Yeah.
And it's hard when we go and play at some of these smaller schools, and we're like confined in a box and we're trying to break our way out.
Sure. So it's just spacing and awareness, spatial awareness is kind of what you want to work on a little bit more of.
Yep, exactly. Getting used to playing on smaller fields and communication. You can never communicate enough.
Yeah.
In any sport you play, you always got to communicate, and it seems like we kind of lose that in some of these games. Halfway through, we start getting tired. You know how high school kids are; they get tired, and they start. Okay, don't have to talk as much. We want to be as loud as possible. We want to hear you from the sidelines.
Yeah, get juiced up, get into the game, get into the action. So, are you coaching by yourself, or you have a staff with you?
I have a staff with me. I brought Kate Heim back. She's been with me since I took over 6 years ago. And surprise, Giselle Villegas is on my staff with me as well.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep.
Well, good for you, Coach. Boy, they are really getting a first-class experience, aren't they?
Yes, they are. So you get Culver's all-time leader and assists, goals, and everything. And I think that's really helping out some of these younger girls, the Avas. The Brooke Davis is like, hey, she's been through this. I can ask her questions, and I don't have to go to coach and feel, bad about asking questions. I can pull her aside and learn from her and her aspect of the game.
That's awesome. Well, okay, so now let's get down to, you said it brass tacks earlier. Let's get down to brass tacks, Coach. What were the goals coming into this year? Because right now it's looking like you're right on target.
Yep. It's the same every year. So we want to be at the top of the conference, win the conference, and we want to bring home the first ever sectional girls soccer championship at Culver. And every girl that I've coached from when I started first day 6 years ago, that was their goal. And we've had some pretty darn good teams up to this point, but we could never get over that hump. And it seems like this group is locked in, ready to make history.
Coach, I love it. And you've probably learned a lot over the last 6 years that's helped you to get to this point as well.
Absolutely. Every kid that I coach, every girl that I've coached is a different person, and you can learn different pieces from each person, how they think, how they feel if you get on them or if you leave them alone, or how to pick them up or anything like that, teaching them different skills and how they adapt to that.
Well, Coach, I wish you well. Congratulations on being undefeated at this time, and keep up the winning ways, and we'll talk soon, okay?
I appreciate it, Mitch. Always happy to talk to you.
All right, now we will transition to West Central, and we will talk cross country with head coach Jeremy Glasford. Coach, good morning.
Good morning, Mitch. Good to be with you today.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Of course, we've been getting your emails, and looks like this cross country team of yours has been putting in the work. Let's talk about them.
Yeah, they've really come out of the gate pretty hot, and they put a lot of work in over the summer. Cross country is a sport where that summer conditioning is so imperative to getting off to a good start, plus to build the base to be able to go as low as they want to on their times come championship season. So they did real well putting in time on their own, and then we have some team training stuff during the summertime, so they did pretty well. And our girls team, we knew it was going to be pretty good as a team. We're a veteran team with some seniors and some juniors, and we added a sophomore to the mix. And then the boys team, we're kind of a mix. We got a couple of veteran runners and Jacobie, who's running really well. And then we have a batch of freshmen that have come in, and they're doing a good job, but they just got a little ways to go to kind of learn how to jump from that 3K race in a middle school level up to that 5K race. So, but they'll get there, but they're doing really well.
Yeah, the one invitational that's sticking out right now is your home invitational, the 421 run, and your team was able to win that outright. Let's talk about that day and how exciting that must have been for you and the team.
Yeah, it was a really exciting day. We love hosting that race, and it's the history of that is kind of we've deviated a little bit, but it was started by D. Dickensheets, who was coach here for a long time, and it was all teams where their school district runs along Highway 421. So it's kind of special to us to be able to host that, and we put a lot of work into it, and we've had a lot of success in that meet over the years. And to be honest, on the boys' side, I didn't really know what to expect. I knew we had a little bit of an outside chance, and the boys came through huge in a couple spots, especially some of those freshman boys kind of had the best race they've had of the year that day, and we're able to take home that team trophy, which is really nice. On the girls' side, we knew Some of the other teams were down a little bit, and our goals were still just to go out and leave no doubt. And we were able to do that too. They ran really, really well that day. It was great running weather. The course was in great shape. So it was a fun day for them and a fun day for me as well.
Yeah, we'll talk about Jacobie in just a minute. Of course, he's our athlete of the week, and we'll hear from him here, or we heard from him, I should say, earlier in this hour. But talk about some of the other runners on this team that you believe we should know about.
Yeah, on the boys' side, we have Ryan Richardson, who's been in the program for many years, and he had a kind of a breakthrough at the end of last year to kind of break that 20-minute mark, and now he's continued just to get better and better this year, going into his junior year. He's a hard worker. Our boys' team isn't real chatty, but they put in a lot of good hard work. But our girls' team makes up for the chattiness because they're a lot of outgoing girls. A lot of them, being a JV girls basketball coach, I coach them then during that season as well. So they're a lot of fun to be around. Actually, the 421, Emily Bunger won that race on the girls' side as well, and we took a 1 through 4 sweep. Katie Scholes, who's been in the program a long time, finished second that day. Kayla Slater, who's a senior, has won the most improved 2 years in a row, and she might win it again this year because she just keeps getting stronger each year. And then Olivia Failer was a senior, and she was in the 4th spot. So a lot of quality there too. Maisie Tousley's been with us; she's a senior, and then Michaela Hawley's a junior, and so a lot of experience. And then we added Chloe Indris. Basketball is her main sport, but she's come out and given us a lot of hard work and wants to improve in cross country as well. So she's kind of fit into our 5th slot and made us stronger.
Yeah, what's the goal? What was the goal maybe coming into this season? Like you said, you guys are hitting the ground running fast, no pun intended, but talk about the goals that you kind of had for this team, or maybe the goals that they have for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, their goals are high. I push on them, that we need to raise the bar any chance we can get, any chance we can get to level up and push each other to a higher level together as a team. Because it's, as you know, cross country is very individual, but at the same time, you're scoring as a team. And when you're able to hoist that a trophy at the end as a team, that's a pretty cool a feeling for them to bond over. So that's really neat. But obviously, Jacobie, we know he's going to have to work really hard to potentially make that state meet. So that's kind of his goal, is to get there. But as the boys team, winning that 421 was kind of going to be a highlight if we could get that done, and they were able to do that. So we're going to have to make a lot of improvement to be able to maybe move on from sectional to regional as a team. But they have that as a goal, and they're pushing forward towards that. The girls, we know, conference championship really is the thing we have circled on our radar. So this past Tuesday, where we went down to Delphi, we were able to win that meet as well. So that was good. And then, but really there's 2 teams, Tri-County and Faith Christian, where we're all as a team, real similar. I mean, it's kind of interchangeable between those 3 teams. So we feel like whoever works the hardest this season will have the best shot come October to be able to win that conference championship. We just hope it's us.
Something that stuck out to me that you had mentioned was that Jacobie is deserving of that 421 run when he came in first. Talk about the work ethic that he has and what he brings to the table in terms of leadership to your team.
Yeah, Jacobie, he's kind of one of those kids. He came in as a freshman. He didn't run in junior high, and he came out of the gate running fast, and everybody was like, who is this kid? And he was just kind of, not a lot of muscle, and he and I were in the weight room sometimes by ourselves as he started to work as a freshman, and he just kind of showed that work ethic of wanting to do whatever I asked of him to do what it took to get better. And then, as the years go on, he gets smarter with his nutrition. He's raised pace. He's studied himself. He's studied his competitors. He's starting to really enjoy and love just that whole aspect of cross country and all of the strategic things that go into it. So going into this year, we knew that it's like he kind of wants to make it to state. Would really like to do well in sectional and in conference, but he was joking the other day, or last night, the other day as well, that he said the first meet at North White we had a couple weeks ago, he finished third because he had a humongous head cold. He could barely breathe. And he goes, Coach, if I hadn't had that cold, I'd be undefeated right now. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. You would be. And he'll face steeper competition as the season goes on. But he's a kid who he's very quiet. He just puts in the work and does what he needs to do. But the other night, some of his female teammates were like, we ran by Jacobie and he was like telling us stuff and encouraging us. So that's a little unusual. And it's kind of one of those things, it's kind of like when a kid like that starts speaking, just because of his prowess and then the respect he's earned because of his running, they listen. He doesn't have to say a whole lot. And him and I talked about that leadership at the beginning of the season. I'm like, I know it's out of your comfort zone, man, but you got one little encouraging word here and there will go huge with your teammates. And he's really pushed himself out of his comfort zone that way too, to start to become a vocal leader as well. So I'm really proud of his effort.
You coaching by yourself or do you have a staff?
Yeah, we have Quentin Harper he's a volunteer assistant. He's a former athlete of mine, and then he also helps the track staff in the springtime. So he's been invaluable and just a person that they can identify with, somebody that's been in the trenches, under my coaching, I guess. So he kind of knows when to pat him on the back and when to say, oh no, he's right, you need to kind of get with it here, guys. So he's been invaluable. And then our middle school coach is Brandon Stevens, and he's a teacher up at the school, and he's doing a real nice job with our middle school too.
Well, Coach, it sounds exciting. It sounds like you're having a good season and a lot of fun for everyone involved. I sure do appreciate your time this morning. What would be your message to Trojan Nation in hopes they get out and support your runners?
Just that. Just get out and support the runners. But it's an exciting time in Trojan Nation. Volleyball team, football teams. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're seeing the fruit of a lot of hard work by a lot of people over the years. So, and academically, they're doing outstanding up there as well. So, just keep supporting. Just keep pouring into our kids, and good things will happen.
It's always good to talk to you, Coach. We'll stay in touch, and I appreciate everything you do.
All right, appreciate you, Mitch.
All right, that is head coach of the West Central Cross Country team, Jeremy Glasford, here on the Saturday Sports Line. We're going to take a break.
One of our hometown businesses here in our area in Monterey, it's LAP Waste.
Being able to recycle is one of our main goals at LAP Waste. Being able to say that we only take about 8% of our trash to the dump is pretty impressive for us, and we hope to keep building on that.
We service an 80-mile circle from Monterey. If you have a small job, big job, or just have a one-time, we are here to make a difference in this area.
And that phone number, Kirby?
574-542-4019.
Pulaski Memorial Hospital. Quality care closer to home. Pulaski Memorial Hospital is all about community and keeping our community spotlight shining on the accomplishments of our youth. That's why PMH is proud to be a sponsor of our local high school sports action on WKVI, our community radio station. Pulaski Memorial Hospital. Quality care closer to home.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi and Chris McGowan on the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, the Saturday Sports Line.
It's time now for Where Are They Now? A look back at more than a half century of local high school sports coverage on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI. Today's program is brought to you by Osborne's Mini Mart in Knox. Now let's meet one of the local high school sports figures from more than 50 years of WKVI sports and find out where are they now?
Well, as we look back on more than 50 years of broadcasting high school sports in the Kankakee Valley here on WKVI, our guest is Adam Neace, a 2009 graduate of Culver Community High School, and we call this segment, Where Are They Now? So, Adam, where are you now, and what are you doing?
Hi, Harold. It's good to hear from you. I'm
I'm in Walkerton, Indiana right now, and we've got a 17-acre farm there, and me and my wife of 3 years, Dakota, and our son Bellamy, and we've also got one on the way, and we have horses and cows and goats and sheep and about any animal you can think of. And I'm also the head girls basketball coach at LaPorte High School.
And that was something that happened over the summer. How did that come about?
Again, I saw a great opportunity up there in LaPorte County, and such a big school with such a big enrollment and wonderful facilities, and I thought, what a challenge. And again, I look at every day like I want to get better, Harold, and it was such a perfect opportunity. I couldn't pass it up, and the people up there have been absolutely wonderful with the start of things, and we've been hitting things full steam. So excited to get up there and have some fun in the orange and black.
Well, when you were playing for Culver Community High School back in the day, you played a lot of sports. You played some soccer, some baseball, a lot of basketball, even a little football. And I remember that you were part of that sectional championship basketball team back in 2008.
Yeah, that was a really special time there at Culver, and just having some great friends and great coaches that we got to enjoy and teach us the wonderful lessons of life. And that sectional team was really special. Some of my best friends played on that. I got to play and enjoy that with my little brother as well, and it was such a special run.
Well, of course, you guys went through some pretty tough times as far as the wins and losses were concerned. But your junior year, you put it all together, end up being regional runners up, and you played for Berndt. What was it like playing for Berndt?
Oh, it was special. I enjoyed my time with Coach Berndt. He held you extremely accountable, but he also loved on you. And again, I think that's something I've taken into my profession as well. And I got to coach with Coach Berndt the past couple of years as well. So that was really special, getting to play for him and coach with him. But he was something special. And I can remember little mannerisms of his, when he would stand on the sideline in the shirt and tie, and he'd have his call sheet right there, and just little things like that even I almost mimic today. And he was just extremely special to me. And I can remember him always yelling at us, hey, we got to rebound, we got to get on the floor, we've got to be the gnarliest team out there. We've got to be able to wreak our havoc on people. And there at the end of the year, I thought we really were able to do that. I think John Glenn was the turnaround everybody talks about and everybody really remembers up there at North Liberty Elementary School. I remember having to play there because they had something going on in the main gym. It was a special vibe. And we knew right then when we left that locker room after that win, hey, we can do something special. And we went on an amazing run. We ended up beating Judson that first game of the sectional, and we got Winamac in the second round. And we ended up getting through that as well. And then we played a really tough Boone Grove team in the championship. And I can remember Waylon Roach and Michael Effeleri and really getting heated down in the fourth quarter. I remember you guys being there broadcasting that and how special it was for our community. And something that we didn't do since 1984 with Radar, Ryan Stevens, and that crew, and what it meant to everybody in Culver. It was something special, and it's something all these coaches and teams are always trying to do again, because when you win in Culver, there's nothing like it.
Well, you've done a lot of coaching as well. And let me ask you this. Going into this LaPorte job, here's a much bigger school and a much bigger conference, et cetera, et cetera. What are some of the things that you're going to take that you learned from maybe Coach Berndt or Coach Elliott? What are you going to be able to take to the Slicers program that's going to help you?
Hard-nosed, defensive-first basketball. Again, we're going to control the basketball on the offensive end, and if we have to chew some clock a little bit and run a good motion offense, then we're going to do that, by golly. But we're going to hang our hat on defensive end, and I think that all goes back to high school. And Kyle Elliott and Coach Brett Berndt really preached that to us. And if we could stop teams, we didn't really have to score as much, and we didn't have to get into the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. And it's really carried over into my coaching career. Last year, we set the record at Culver Community for defensive average. We held teams to 31.9 points per game, and it was 10th in the entire state of Indiana last year. And we're so proud of that. And we want to hang our hat on that where we go. And that's credit to Coach Berndt, Coach Elliott, Coach Lowry, all the guys that were around back then, and kind of put that all and instilled it into us.
Going back to your playing days, back in those days, you were pretty fortunate because you played with some pretty darn good athletes, didn't you?
You bet I did. Zoe Bauer's on the top of that list. I got to be a teammate of Zoe's for a long time. We got to play high school basketball together. I got to watch Zoe play middle school with my little brother, and being around that all the time and us playing all that time in the park, he was one of the best around. And I got to be around Trent Elliott and watch him blossom into what he became. And he was just a young tyke at the playground trying to get on all those 5-on-5s, and it was just something special. I got to play with Lucas Hanselman. We call him the captain still to this day, Harold. And whenever I see Lucas, I always call him Seven from football days. And he was something special. And those bonds that we created, Coach Berndt, Coach Elliott always told us, those will be your friends for life, and they weren't lying. And those guys are always around whenever you need them. They're really special people. Again, Big John Davis. I think everybody remembers Big John Davis on that team, and Matt Mars, and that group was so special. And again, I got to play with my little brother, and it was awesome. And that's what every team kind of needs to be like. And that's what I really model all my teams after, is that 08 group. Because we were so close-knit in the locker room, and that matters so much, Harold. Again, you can have all the talent in the world, but if you're not working as a cohesive unit, it's not going to work out for you. And that 08 group, we were rock solid. We were an iron fist, and I'd go to battle with those guys any day.
Adam, as you grew up in the Culver community there, who were some of the people who were like your role models or who helped you be successful in athletics?
Again, Brett Berndt and Kyle Elliott laid a real big foundation for us, and we got to also experience when Andy Thomas came to town and what he brought to the table with his bigger, faster, stronger program, and Coach Hollenball and all those guys. They just invest so much into the kids at Culver, and that's what makes that place so special. And some of those guys that I always looked up to, Cody Snyder's, Thad Osborne's, Dylan Bush's, Sean Hinsey's, those guys were just a couple grades above me, but I knew how special that group was and how much they loved the game of basketball. And if I could just take after them and take it to another level, we could do something special. And we did it, and it was wonderful. And that's what's so great about Culver. Everybody's working for each other. Everybody's a great role model. Everybody's trying to make everybody achieve their dreams.
We're talking with Adam Neace, a 2009 graduate of Culver Community High School, here on our Where Are They Now segment, and we'll be back to continue our conversation after this time out.
Need a game plan that has your day covered from tip-off to the buzzer? Osborne's Mini Mart in Knox has you covered. Whether you like to start out with a caffeinated full-court press or control the tempo with a Subway breakfast flatbread, Osborne's Mini Mart has what you need. Don't get trapped in the corner with an empty stomach. Call a quick timeout and get 2 hot dogs. Visit Osborne's Mini Mart in Knox at the corner of US 35 and Highway 8 East to guarantee you win the day.
Our guest is Adam Neace, a 2009 graduate of Culver Community High School. And Adam, let me ask you this. What did you gain from being a high school athlete that has helped you be successful in life?
Accountability. I think having to come to those early morning practices and those early morning workouts, and times when you didn't want to come in, but you still came in for the bigger and the greater cause. And again, teamwork was such a big thing that we learned then, and now that you carry it into your job and what you do for a living, that's so big. And all the wonderful things that we got to learn basketball-wise because I coach, that's always a big plus too.
Finally, what advice would you give to, let's say, those middle schoolers out there, these younger kids out there who would like to have the kind of success that you've had in sports?
Listen to your coaches and be as coachable as you can be. I think that's the biggest thing. And find your walk with Jesus. Again, our Lord and Savior, and finding that passion in that. Again, we all want to walk through the gates of heaven, and he just wants to call us all to his kingdom. So again, building a relationship with Jesus, and that's the biggest thing.
Adam, thank you so much for taking time and visiting with us and reminiscing about your playing days and your coaching days. And thank you for all that you've done to help young people in your coaching profession.
Thanks, Harold, and I'll always go Cavs.
Our guest on Where Are They Now has been Adam Neace, a 2009 graduate of Culver Community High School. Join us again next week on the Saturday Sports Line for Where Are They Now?
Where Are They Now? A look back at more than a half century of high school sports coverage on WKVI has been brought to you by Osborne's Mini Mart in Knox.
Join us each Saturday morning on WKVI for the Saturday Sports Line and worldwide on WKVI.com.
Time now for our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week, given in memory of Tyler Roth, a 2001 graduate of Winamac High School who died as a result of an auto accident 1 week after his high school graduation. His legacy of hard work, outstanding citizenship, artistic success, and super athletic performance lives on with this award given every week to outstanding student athletes from the 8 schools in the Kankakee Valley. Today's award is brought to you by Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack in Winamac, and we'll tell you who's earned the Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week after this word from Web Printing.
Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack and signs of all kinds in Winamac is where all of your printing needs can be met. Whether it's paper, garments, or signs, Web Printing is your full-service printing solution. So if you're in need of embroidered or screen-printed garments, tickets or programs for your event, or documents for your business, Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack is the place to go. For the quickest service, best prices, and best quality, it's Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack in Winamac.
Our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week for this week is Brooke Davis, a junior at Culver Community on the girls' soccer team. What's there to say about this girls' soccer team at Culver? We heard from head coach A.J. Neace earlier on in this hour. They are undefeated, playing amazing soccer, and it all starts defensively for the Lady Cavs, and that's what Brooke Davis does. She provides the intensity they need on defense. They've only allowed 5 goals in the 8 games this season so far, and as head coach Neace said, defense is very important, and not many are able to get past Brooke Davis. We congratulate Brooke Davis, our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week. Brooke will receive a certificate, a history of the award, and a t-shirt commemorating her achievement, and will also be a future guest on the Saturday Sports Line. She will be eligible for our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year award later this spring, which carries with it a plaque and a college scholarship, compliments of WKVI and the family of Tyler Roth. The Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week is brought to you by Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack in Winamac. I'll make sure to get with Miss Davis this week. As that wraps up another Saturday Sports Line, we are getting ready for Week 5 of the Indiana High School football season. We will be in John Glenn to see the Knox Redskins take on the Falcons. You won't want to miss it. Another great broadcast on the way here on WKVI. Until then, keep up to date on the sports checks. Follow us on all of our social media sites, on Instagram at WKVI Sports, on X at KVB Sports, and on Facebook at Sports to the Max for all Kankakee Valley Broadcasting sports content. All right, I'm out of here. Enjoy your weekend. I'm Mitch Columby. The tradition continues.
From the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios of Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI, you've been listening to the Saturday Sports Line with Sports Director Mitch Columby and Sports Analyst Chris McGowan.